Okay, wow, it's working, so yeah. Elliot, what are you drinking?
No, this time it's whiskey, some Bushmills whiskey.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm still, like, this probably last night I finished off this Rageous Raspberry Sour. But
Gumption up and reach over there and get it.
yeah, pause, but okay, now. Yeah, I'll get the wine in. It's fucking IMAX killing me. Fucking $1,300 computer, but anyway. Yeah, so I got the Rageous Raspberry, yeah. And what do you have, so?
So far I've polished off a classic lime margarita.
You want me to get it for you?
I'll get up
Onto a Blackberry Fizz. And I have the usual Bud Light Lime just sitting there, waiting to be opened.
Bud Light Lime.
God.
Waiting to be touched.
Yeah, so can't do this without Junior because he's busy on his day off with his personal time, which is
putting Rogaine on his scalp.
Yeah.
So clearly I wasn't here for episode 21.
We had a lot of fun, didn't we, Al?
I listened to episode 21.
That was
a really good episode.
It's like one thing I can say firsthand listening to it, but like it's fun listening to it, but
Al, there's definitely a difference between listening to something and actually being here for it.
But seeing Al and Junior's facial expressions, that's something I can't put a price on. Like, holy shit.
So, get into it with this whole Molly situation here.
I mean,
hey, Junior, we got a question.
Oh, yeah.
Junior, I have a question for you.
Well, you know, if certain people were here, that's what we were waiting for, but I'll let Al give his opinion based on this.
I want to go on the record and say that Molly is a phenomenal human being.
Oh, yeah, she is, you know.
And
I know that you guys think she's a hologram.
She is, not real until she makes her second appearance.
A fembot, maybe.
Apparently she's a unicorn.
She's a figment of my imagination until she makes her second appearance.
I don't believe she's real because I wasn't here.
And you didn't listen to the last podcast either.
No,
she's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I do kind of, Al, to Elliot and Sue, question the legitimacy of the relationship, you know. It's like, because I wasn't sure if this was a friend or a girlfriend or just like, you know, someone he's giving money to. I don't know.
Junior's smart.
I mean, it's Junior, so any female that would have walked through the door, you would have been questioning that.
Can you please come to my podcast and say we're together? I'll pay you.
That wouldn't have surprised me, because, I mean, she walks now, so the first thing I'm thinking, looking at the two of them, like, you are way the fuck out of his league. Like, which is every woman with me, so I don't, you know.
Jealousy.
See, you make
I don't know that I see her.
Smell the envy from here.
I'm telling you.
I don't know that I see her as out of his league. She's definitely gorgeous. She's a nice person.
It's Junior, Al.
Well, he was saying his stomach was bothering him like 3 days ago. I told him to stop eating ass and it would get better.
Apparently, she's not into that, though.
Well, if and when she does come back, I happen to, like, you know, because Facebook is what it is, and want to see if they actually were friends on Facebook, and they are. And she had that, I would tell this to her, it's not an insult by any means, but, you know, some people, we've all seen this where some people it's like, you ever see someone who takes a picture, and they're not like their picture at all?
I know, and they are, like, gorgeous in real life, but they take, like, a horrible picture.
I was going to say, like, there's been people who've taken great pictures, and are kind of ugly, and Molly...
Yeah, I do that.
I couldn't say it, but anyway.
Wow.
I've only seen one picture. It's like smiles. It's like, what's with the smiles?
Anyway,
what's going on in life?
I don't do pictures often. I am uniquely ugly. I am not. The camera is not nice to me ever.
Yeah, I got this friend request from this random ass weird looking dude named Al Johnson.
Yeah, I wonder who the hell that is.
I mean, like, there was a tagline on it that said "slinging dick."
Sorry. Anyway.
Said nickname was Mayo Chup.
Interest. Mayo Chup was like the only interest.
My God.
Anyway. So I know, but with Molly, I looked up Molly's, like, just see if, like, they were, you know, friends, and they are, and, like, after, like, you know, me and Al hung out with her in person, like, she's definitely one of those people where it's like, I've seen her pictures on Facebook,
they don't do her
and her
justice.
pictures don't do her any fucking justice at all. No, I was like, this is, like, almost to the point where I would even debate this, like, the person that sat down with us looks almost nothing like the person that took pictures. I'm like, wow, well, what the fuck? Like, it's her, but, like, maybe it could be her personality, the way she moves, but her pictures are, like, they're very underrated compared to, like, the kind of...
Yeah, like, if you see her pictures, you'd be like, she's alright looking, and you see her in real life, you're like, oh, shit, she is fucking beautiful.
Uh-oh. Sue, you might be off the hook now.
Yes.
Off the hook for who?
for you.
Fam.
He's like,
fam.
no making that baby
ain't
now.
all-
But hey, Molly,
I mean,
what are you
I
gonna
heard
see
you
with that?
asking Molly, like, do you have any sisters?
That was curiosity. That was simply curiosity.
And I heard, like,
I was just
someone
wondering the
make
size
a
of her
comment.
family.
Yeah, sure. And I heard, like, someone make a comment about, you know, a petri dish and, like, a hair sample and some like, spit and saliva.
I may have said that.
What the fuck did I miss? Seriously.
Listen to episode 21!
I will
Molly
tonight.
clone.
Oh, I have to be quiet because your mom always says she hears me upstairs.
Yep.
Oh god, it's gonna be beautiful. I've already made fun of Junior enough about this already.
I mean, apparently also, like, if her and Junior, like, do procreate, like, Junior's going to name it if it's a boy.
Yeah.
Like, they were talking about, like,
Junior
whatever.
the third.
Junior's, like, ready to, like, sell a kidney so he can afford a freaking, like, engagement ring.
God.
Listen, if he's smart, he'll sell a kidney and half of a lung.
And his, like, spleen.
If he's smart,
Sell a
he'll
liver.
stop.
Liver grows back.
Yeah.
He'll get a
Part of your
loan for
liver.
not eating ass.
Yeah, a person that like is that attractive with that kind of personality, it's just like
It's like, why are you with Junior?
She's like a genuine unicorn.
yeah, it's like honestly, it's like it's the fact that she was even sitting next to where Elliot's sitting. I'm still having trouble believing that she was actually here. Like, because we're living in the days of social media and like this whole pro.
I gotta fuck with him next time she's around.
I like what Al
Really
said,
gonna
and
fuck
he
You
with
was-
need
him.
to listen to episode 21,
I
dude.
will. I'll listen tonight.
Seriously, you need
Damn.
to, like,
Look at
honestly,
her.
like, I'm intrigued about who this girl is because I was not here to meet her.
Listen to the Force and Seuss. You gotta listen to him. Okay,
Like,
I'll listen.
I am
No,
intrigued.
you better.
Please don't hit me.
Like, my God.
No, seriously, you have to listen to episode 21. It was hysterical.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll listen and I'll give you my opinions later. Like, my God, I must see her. Is she real? I have to touch her.
is she a figment of everyone's imagination? Like,
Yes. If
was
she
this just a
vanishes-
recording of a human being that Junior brought with him, and these guys are, like, making it seem like she's human?
Was this his Fantasy Star Online 2 waifu that he brought with us?
Listen,
I mean,
can't.
is she a mail order bride that Junior had flown in? And he's like, yeah, we've known each other for years. And it's like, she's just learning, like, American dialect.
Molly, if you're in trouble, text somebody. We'll save you.
If you're in danger, blink twice.
Jesus Christ.
Come on the show and look at us for 10 minutes straight.
Me
We'll
nor
save
Chris
you.
can confirm or deny her existence because until she makes a second appearance, she's a figment of both our imaginations. It was a mass hallucination.
I mean, I heard flat out you guys make a statement. You know, Susan and Jen have to be here to confirm, like, this is a real female.
I'll be like, hey, excuse me, I don't mean to sound terrible, but I need to check your pulse.
Like, are you real? Like,
Yeah.
touching her? Like,
Yeah.
being like,
Check her pulse, make sure she's not some kind of Frankenstein's monster.
like, have you guys, like, you guys don't know this about Chris, but when Chris gets drunk, like, massively drunk, or, like, massively, like, stoned, like, he has the, like,
I gotta get these things done.
like, Chris will sit there and he'll, like, just start touching people, like, to see if he can still feel them.
Watch out, Molly. Watch out.
Like,
He's gonna read poetry to you and shit's gonna get real.
I mean, apparently, like, she really does like Chris, too, from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I feel so sorry for you. And then you hear Alan Jr. in the background.
Don't
He
fall for
fucked a
it.
lesbian and he was fucking a stripper. He was in a relationship with a stripper. Don't feel sorry for this man.
Like, don't feel sorry for this slut.
This fucking man whore.
He's getting sex from lesbians
Hey.
and strippers. And
I've had
she's
sex with,
sitting
like,
over there feeling
3
I mean, he's
lesbians.
also fucked a
It's
moose,
easy.
but we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought it was called a Shrek.
I mean, it is.
That's
It's
a
also Shrek.
Yeah.
It's a moose.
She has many names.
It has layers.
It's demon, devil, Satan, whatever the hell you want to call her.
Something
What the hell are you playing with?
I'm wondering the same thing.
I downloaded a sound effect app. I just got to perfect all these things.
Like, figure out what sound effects what?
There you go.
What app is that? I want that.
Oh yeah,
See?
show it to you.
See, this is just funny now. You gotta wonder what Molly does around Junior. Is it help him put Rogaine on? Because
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
shots fired.
Here we go.
Shots fired. I just delivered the first shot.
One across the bow.
Yes.
I mean, like, Like I said, I'm not sure if Junior could have just brought like a soundboard with him and was making this woman's like voice up.
Listen, I'm going to defend Junior here.
It's a very realistic blow up, doll.
He's known her, and she came back into his life, and now he is affirmatively making the move to lock her down, which I stand behind 1,000%. Junior, put a goddamn ring on it, lock it down, take it off the market right now, because another one like her does not exist.
I mean, good luck. She's not going to let you tongue punch her fart box, so I know it's going to hurt you.
She will.
Yeah. I gotta start messing with these damn apps, so. Anyway. But, yeah, no, it's just like, I thought the whole thing was kind of funny where just like, she admitted to saying like they were, she just got to have a toxic relationship, as many women do, and, you know, he was single and she was single, and she was getting a lot of just random dick pics and also applications to be with her and stuff, and it makes you wonder if like, perhaps that, you know, if she has a single friend of hers and he says, hey, listen, I'll say that we're in a relationship, that now she stops getting harassed. So it's like, you know, they were friends, and like, are you still friends, and just, you know, are you together? I'm not sure.
I mean, apparently he's gonna marry her.
It's gonna be fun to watch. I'm gonna get the popcorn.
Oh boy. So, man, I'm trying to find. There's so many fucking news stories. I'm trying to pull them up.
This is gonna be great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make fun of him now, hardcore.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Damn.
Have you heard anything about the whole like? I guess it's kind of trending right now, but the whole Jada Pinkett and Will Smith thing. It's like, damn, people are just like, people are tearing Will apart, and I'm like, holy fuck.
I'm gonna go out
what
on
about
a limb here and say I genuinely don't give a fuck about Will and Jada's marriage and who the fuck either one of them are fucking on their downtime. I don't care. I don't. Legitimately, I don't care.
Yeah. Also, it was on Facebook. They're doing this Facebook Live thing called the Red Table Talk, and, you know, they went through a, I guess, separational period and stuff, but basically she was, like, seeing other guys and shit, and just, you know, it came out, so she was going through a difficult time, and she was seeing other men on the side with Will, and it's like,
it's deeper than that, because when they split, they were both seeing other people.
Yeah.
The only reason that she's under fire right now is because the guy she was seeing did an interview and basically put all the information out. It's not even new news.
Yeah.
It's shit that happened like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, but now it's just being talked about. So
now it's relevant because the guy was like, "Oh, I was in love with her, and I got my blessing from." I'm like sitting here like, "Bitch, what the? Shut the fuck up!" Like,
we started 5 minutes ago.
So in other words, social media is blowing up just something. Yeah.
Something that happened 1,000 years ago.
I mean,
and now it's
two consenting adults, if they're just like, yeah, it's not happening, see ya, okay, fuck it.
Yeah.
Have fun. Don't get COVID. Don't get COVID now. I saw I Am Legend. It bored the fuck out of me, but don't get COVID.
Yeah. It's funny things like, I mean, I'm just reading just tidbits like.
I find it hard to feel sorry for anybody who's wealthy and successful and has money to burn.
Wow.
And going through something like infidelity, which is something that everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people go through. Like, I just genuinely don't care. Like, they don't have anything else. Like, this is how good life is for them. That one of them cheating or, you know, getting caught, quote unquote, cheating is a big deal. Like, this is how good their life is. Yeah. Like, most people are out here mad because they can't work. Don't know how to, like, it's like 80,000 people across the country evicted because landlords are now like, yo, give me my money or get out. You know, it's people that don't have any money, don't even know how they're going to feed their family, but the big story is
there's a chair there.
Jada's infidelity.
Yeah.
We were separated, but she was fucking other guys. I'm so mad.
Well, the reason it's such a big deal for Al, not to us, but like just why they made an article, because it says because they're doing Red Table Talk on Facebook, but it broke records. That's why, because they're saying that like Red Table Talk set a new record for the most views in 24 hours for a Facebook Watch original episode.
I don't believe that.
With more than it says 15 million views in a day. So
Tekashi 6ix9ine beat that.
Yeah. So
that guy.
There's a chair, John. But
I don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of just seems like some celebrities are desperate to stay relevant. So all this crazy shit's coming out now.
Yeah, but there's so much other shit that they could have done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
still, I Am Legend. What were you thinking, Will Smith? Come on. Come on.
Listen.
Kevin James did it better.
That was funny.
What was the movie that he did with him and his son when they were in outer space?
Oh, After Earth.
Holy
shit!
I
haven't seen that.
I will take I Am Legend 1,000 times. I will sit in a room and let you duct tape me to a chair and tape my eyes open and put I Am Legend on a repeat before I watch After Earth again.
Yeah,
that is a fact.
Selfie.
Yeah, so this is a funny article I found coming from New York Post that there's right now down in New York, New Jersey, there's great white sharks that are lurking off the beaches.
Fucking awesome.
Yep.
We got our own version of Jaws. That is great.
Because it's 2020, but and it's July now, but
Sharks are like, when are you going to start throwing the COVID bodies in?
yeah, really.
How can it get worse? Great white sharks at the beach? You fucking beat us.
Yeah.
COVID are great white sharks.
I'm on this guy's page on the TikTok app called Adam something. I forgot his name. But he does these stupid little clips that I keep sending to you.
Yeah,
where he'll look at the crazy news article and just walk off the thing.
I want to do that too.
You know,
honestly, don't difference.
Some of the articles that come through.
Yeah. You sent me one earlier. But this one I found, so this is saying, beware beachgoers that social distancing violators might be at least your problems. At least 3 great white sharks lurk in the local waters, with another monster moving our way, and a possible 5th one. But the first one they identified is 16 feet and about 3,500 pounds. You can see another one. There's one, they named her Caroline, which name is sharks, but okay. She's 12, 9, and 1,300 pounds. The other one's 8 feet. But yeah, there's new to the neighborhood is Vimy. Thanks for naming sharks. A 1,600-pound behemoth that's 13 feet long. But apparently they're doing satellite trackers, but they're just giving out they're just watching these sharks that are just sitting around the beaches in New York City and Jersey and just waiting. So
a couple of years ago, there was I guess they call it a rogue shark.
Yeah.
When they get the blood in their system and they're just crazy killers. It was over at Cape Cod. It was like, I don't know, like 3 years ago maybe?
yeah,
Just going around munching on people.
sharks are hungry.
That's exactly what we needed. Shark with a fetish for human flesh.
Is it right now Shark Week? And it's
God.
close to it, huh?
And I just learned that the shark's name in Jaws was Bruce, so fuck
Oh yeah,
it.
remember? Well, we watched the YouTube thing with this.
I thought it was bullshit.
How it should have been. Yeah, that's why it's called Bruce the Shark, and how it
Yeah.
should have ended. Yeah.
Fuck it. You know what? Just give us all the great whites. We'll just take it, we'll
Jaws
make
had
our
a
version.
name?
Yes,
yeah, Bruce. That's what they called him, Bruce. I swear to God.
Yeah, it's like the shark and Finding Nemo. His name was Bruce.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, that's probably why his name was Bruce for all we know.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. No, it was reportedly, well, the biggest problem with Jaws was back in the day when that Spielberg didn't know that, like, when he's an up-and-coming director, that how hard it would be to film underwater scenes, but the shark kept constantly fucking breaking down. So, but yeah, they named the shark something, so they called him Bruce the Shark. And
Hey, it worked. I love the sea shanties every time.
Yeah.
That was great. The captain was the best character. Always singing, always cheering me up before that son of a bitch got him. Fuck you, Bruce. Fuck you.
So, let's see. Elon Musk is in the news again. Not the whole Johnny Depp thing. That's separate. But now Elon Musk is talking about a brain chip that they're going to put into people that's going to cure depression and addiction.
Mark of the
The fuck was that? What was that movie? Upgrade?
Fuck you,
Yeah,
Elon.
we don't
Yes.
need that shit. I haven't seen it yet, but I don't
Really?
want to.
You don't watch that?
I haven't. There's
Upgrade. I actually, when I went to Carlton's house, I bought it on Voodoo. Upgrade's a fantastic movie.
It's a good movie, but it ended in a shit way.
Well, see, I wonder if there might be a sequel, though. That's what I'm wondering.
Even if it's a sequel, it ended in a shit way.
It was
a
yeah.
phenomenal movie. I was on board until the end. I was like, why would they end it like
That's
this?
what. Well, I like the way they did because I want to see more of that if they bring it back. But no, it's yeah. The fight scenes were just like yeah.
No, you want to know a good movie with insane fighting? That hardcore Henry.
That was.
That
was-
fucking.
I seen it in the theaters. That movie will give you. Some people couldn't handle that film because
Yeah.
it'll make you. That'll give you fucking vertigo.
made me nauseous at some points, but I was like, my god, this
Like the
is
entire film is. It's like watching a first-person shooter video game, and like and so the character Henry, he never talks. It's just like
Wait, didn't you and I go and see that?
I'm not sure if you did with me. I remember I see it in theaters. I'm not sure if you went with me.
I think I went with
Yeah,
you.
the entire film is fucking from his point of view. That's it.
Yeah.
So it's all body cam, and was the first of its kind. I mean, for what it was, I respect it for what it was. I mean, especially like the choreography of the fights and the guns and shit. So, but let's see. So good old Elon is giving out details about the mysterious brain computer chip called Neuralink, and about the whole addiction and depression. So he started funding it in 2016, and he's got more than 158 million in funding. So it's going to be a sewing machine-like device capable of connecting brains directly to computers.
So then someone can hack it and control you.
Right.
Hey, I'm sorry, I got this new chip. I'm sorry I murdered my neighbors. Why'd you murder them? Someone hacked my chip. It happens. It happens. You don't have any bad photos in your memory they can hack, can you? Wah, wah.
It'll be a good way to commit murder and cop out there. You'd be like, somebody took over my chip.
Someone fucking hacked me again. Didn't it happen last week? They just keep coming back for more. What can I say?
Why'd you kill your wife and then go to work and kill your boss?
This fucking chip.
This chip, god damn it.
Elon Musk.
There's like a cult of people that keep saying that the COVID test that they jam down your nose, they're like, they're implanting something into your face. There's like a whole cult of people that believe that right now.
That's stupid. You want me to tell you why? It's the exact same way they test for the flu. Because when they tested me for the flu, and I didn't know this is how they tested you for the flu until I got tested. When at the very beginning of this COVID thing, I was feeling like shit. And there's a guy I work with who got sick. His wife got the flu and he got sick, and then everybody was getting tested because nobody knew if it was COVID or not. And that's what they do. They take a long ass cotton swab and ram it up your nose and jam it up in your sinuses right between your fucking brain lobes, and it's not a fun feeling. It's not comfortable. It's not. Nothing about it is fucking good. Brings waters to your eyes, and they yank the fucking Q-tip out, and sometimes you bleed and sometimes you don't.
Jesus.
But the whole thing is if it's so contagious, I've heard that they can swab your mouth. If it's so contagious that, the malls have to get special filters and everything else, why can't you just swab my mouth? If it's that contagious, I have to wear a mask going everywhere, then why can't you just swab my mouth? Don't puncture my nasal cavity. I've done too many drugs in my life. You're going to break something.
Because the truth will then come out, and we will all rage.
I mean, they probably can swab your mouth, but because all that shit builds up in your mucus and your sinus membrane, it's easier to test there. That's where the most concentrated, I guess, source of it will be.
Yeah.
Are they going to buy us dinner first before they penetrate our sinuses? That seems a little invasive. Sir, we're going to penetrate your sinuses. Do I at least get a glass of wine? Fuck you. Oh, it's going to be one of those encounters, huh? Bam!
That shit is not fun.
Someone's going to be like, I hate that guy for making a joke like that. Get a sense of humor.
Jen,
What?
did you listen to episode 21?
No, I haven't. I was on vacation all weekend.
Vacation all weekend.
So,
Didn't
I
invite
wasn't here.
us?
Elliot wasn't here. You weren't here. But Junior was here.
Oh, with a girl, right?
Yeah. Her name, I guess, is Molly.
See, I was waiting for Susan and
Where's Junior tonight?
Molly the unicorn.
he's taking a personal day.
Is
He needs
taking
a
a personal
personal
day. Probably with Molly.
Tongue punch
Molly-
that fart
Molly's
box.
attempting to suffocate him.
So, I guess Molly is like the perfect, feminine species. And yet somehow she's dating Junior.
Uh-oh.
No. Oh boy.
I guess Junior is getting ready to sell one of his kidneys so he can buy an engagement ring for her.
Oh boy.
Al's asking her if she has any siblings.
Listen, I was just curious about the size of her family. Everybody
did
here
ask
knows
if she had
that.
sisters.
So she's cute.
From what
I don't know, they've been
gather, she
fawning
seems
over
adorable.
her.
I mean, listen,
Cute, and she's a girl, and she's adorable? What?
and apparently she's attracted to Junior.
Right.
Why all the animosity towards Junior?
Susan.
Because his hairline's receding.
I mean, why all the animosity towards Junior? Let's see. Longhorn.
Whipped cream.
Fair
and
enough.
Longhorn.
You did.
No, that was him who was talking about you bringing whipped cream. I was just like,
No,
seriously?
his exact thing was, he's like, she's the only one who asked for her dessert to go.
Yeah, and he was like,
Damn.
whipped cream. I was like, my God, let me find out what's really happening. That sounds
He was like,
that's Junior
Sue's getting a
over-exaggerating
double
my
helping
life.
of meat.
I know, a double helping of meat, but now we have dirt on him, so we're
Oh,
good.
yeah. So,
I'm gonna perfect this shit.
So, Junior
See?
has a
There's-
girlfriend, I guess. That's
It's-
adorable. And so Chris is sitting there talking about how horrible he is during the podcast, and she's like, why do you feel that way about yourself? I feel so sorry for you. And then Al and Jr. are looking at her and they're like, don't feel sorry for this man. He's fucked a lesbian and a fucking stripper. So don't feel sorry for him.
To be fair, fucking a lesbian is pretty easy.
I don't know. I don't know that it is.
I mean, could Chris be a legend?
I don't know, then that means I'm a bigger legend than Chris.
I mean, like, was she a lesbian before?
Like I said, trust me, when I did it, it was because they were having arguments with their female spouse, and they're like, to get even, I'm going to sleep with a dude. I'm like, I'm a dude?
Okay.
Bam, it happened.
I'm a dude. She's a dude.
So Elliot might be a bigger dude than you are, in that sense.
I have one response. It's
Yes. They will sing hymns of me.
In case you guys are wondering, I had an amazing night with Marathon Man last night. Yeah, it was quite amazing.
It wasn't quite amazing?
It was very much quite amazing.
Details.
Yes.
Give us.
Well, here's the thing. So
Hey,
he's
Jen,
he's
hold on.
like super. I love our intellectual conversations that I get. My intellectual conversations, but just like kids, like I don't know, high school kids, we
God.
like play footsie for a little bit. Like it's a little bit. Shut up, Chris. It's always like a little awkward at first. So basically, are we gonna fuck or not? So then I have to get a good buzz because then I'm like, more confident and like more ballsy. Like, are we gonna fuck or not?
plus
So
he's got to
then
get drunk before he fucks
It always
you.
starts off with like Netflix and chill, and then I was just like, and my air conditioner's not really working well in my house, so it's like, damn, we're gonna go do a marathon. We're already sweating our asses off, like we're fucked. So we had to like take like 3 cold showers in between, like still going. It was quite amazing. Thank you very much.
Oh Jesus!
Or was it if you had to get drunk for it to happen?
I always have to get drunk, not drunk,
That's
just
not.
buzzed.
I mean, that's that kind of
That's not
feel-
that amazing
Oh,
though.
no, because that's when I go balls to the wall, like, because he doesn't really drink, so
I don't know.
it's always like pussyfooting around the idea first.
So then you have to take control
can you-
of him.
Can
That
you give
doesn't sound
consent
great.
if you're buzzed? I don't know
Yeah.
if you can.
I
It
raped
kinda
the
feels like
shit
you've
out
been
of him,
raped.
so he's the one who has to give consent.
I don't know.
Like,
So you were the man and he was the girl.
every time.
I don't know if that's a marathon or just sad.
I mean, like, in my
Wait.
personal
Damn.
Wait.
experiences.
That was fucked up.
With,
Carlton
Mr.
just said something from the future.
Oh God! He gets here.
I can't wait. This is gonna be fun.
Oh, and Carlton apparently is coming down next Saturday to be
No,
on the
this Saturday.
This Saturday.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
To be on
yeah.
the podcast. Elliot believes like we're going to fall in love with Carlton.
No, I said you guys are going to be staring at him because he has stories that we're all going to be crying like little
Yeah.
children
I was
over.
gonna say, we've met Carlton my whole
Like
life.
he said to me once, he's like, when you hear Carlton's voice, like it's
Yeah.
so deep and
No,
masculine.
I said
that
it
you're
was
gonna forget
dry
all about-
humor and hilarious.
No, you said to me one week, you were like, if Carlton were here because of how deep and masculine his voice is, you're just gonna forget all about Longhorn. And I'm
Maybe
like,
you will. Maybe you will.
I mean, to be
I'm like,
fair.
I've known Carlton for like 15 years. I doubt.
I was drunk, Carlton.
Al's got a pretty deep masculine. Hiya.
Damn.
Oh, damn.
I was just sitting here thinking to myself, so my
Wait.
voice isn't deep and masculine?
Wait
Like,
a
what's going on?
second. He's going to put a baby in Sue, but now Molly's kind of ahead of Sue, so...
I mean,
Molly is Junior's wife. We're not
Molly
going
is
to
a
cross those
unicorn?
lines.
Molly is a unicorn.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know if she's real or not.
Hashtag Molly is a unicorn.
Hashtag check her
Hashtag
pulse.
Molly Unicorn.
That's, every time Carlton talks, all I hear is
Oh, it's gonna be people are gonna be crying. They'll be laughing so hard come Saturday.
yeah.
It's gonna be beautiful.
I'm glad to hear Jen's story. You know, I mean, as a brother, I just think about
Her sex life.
Shame.
I'm gonna have so much fun with this fucking app.
Oh my gosh.
I can't be mad at Jen, though. She sounds like she had a great night.
Hey, if she had a great night, she had a great night.
Okay, so
Oh God.
yeah, so let me finish up Elon's story here, and he just says that He said, this is both great and terrifying. Everything we've sensed or thought has been electrical signals. The early universe was just a soup of quarks and leptons. How did a very small piece of the universe start to think of itself as sentient? In the short term, Neuralink will be used to treat brain diseases such as Parkinson's, while the long-term ambitions for the technology is to allow humans to compete with artificial intelligence. Oh boy.
But if he's so against artificial intelligence, why are you then going to use chips to interact with people? Because would that then make them cybernetic organisms if you're implanting things like chips and all that into the human body?
I'm just gonna jump off the deep end and say fuck Elon Musk. Now that I found out that he was having an affair with Amber Heard, he's a fucking low.
Well, it's not 100%, but people are saying that he was visiting her when Johnny Depp was not there. So I'm waiting to see if it's true or not, but I don't know, that whole thing is the most fucked up debacle. My mind just kind of empties itself out because it's a shit show.
Somebody recently said that Elon Musk is actually the world's first legit Bond villain.
I can see it happening.
He's getting there.
He's got a freaking moon laser.
After we named his kid, like
he's always building weird machines and shit.
Yeah.
Here's a brain chip so I can control you, you little minions.
Oh God. So.
You know this? He's walking down the path of fucking. What's the demon from Lord of the Rings called? Sauron.
Yeah. Sauron. Yes.
He's gonna have the one chip that controls them all.
The one chip controls them all.
Yeah.
The only perk that I can see with it is, like, I've had some really, like, I've always been a very vivid dreamer and trying to wake up and keep a dream. Like, some of my shit would make an awesome blockbuster movie. Some of my dreams. And then I wake up and I'm, like, writing everything down as fast as I can, trying not to skip a beat. So if you could, like, download your dreams, that would be badass.
Well, Stephen King, I mean, he's lucky enough where it's like he has a good memory where like 99% of his books came from a dream. Like, you know, it's
99% of his books he did while he was drunk and on cocaine.
Yeah. Don't touch the floor before you write down your thing, because it's said that if you touch the ground, it stops you from remembering. I don't know if it's true or not, but that shit happens with me.
This sounds crazy, but I believe it's true because there are dreams that I had that as soon as I got up and was like, yo, let me tell you about this dream. Wait a minute, I can't remember.
Yeah, that's happened to me. I'm like, man, this fucking dream, I'd make millions. Get up to put on my shoes. Wait, what happened? Fuck!
Yeah. I mean, I've listened to Rogan on several podcasts. He would say that they are not fully able to comprehend, like, what causes dreams or how we even create them. Like, it's just different chemicals, but, like, when people take mushrooms and they start hallucinating, that puts the same kind of chemicals in your brain as how you dream. But, like, of course, it comes, like, as you're awake, but...
And then there's that freaking sleep paralysis. That's also a
worldwide That's happened to me in my lifetime one fucking time, and I remember that because I'll never forget it. That's how powerful. Like, you heard stories, I'll never forget that shit. Where it's like, remember that? Fuck, like, that I woke up and like, you're waking up. Just imagine that, and like, first off, now you're awake. You know you're awake, and your eyes are closed. So your eyes are closed, and now all you're seeing is darkness. Now you can feel your body automatically breathing as like, you know, as you would when you're sleeping, but like you're 100% awake, and every part of you is like after like about 10 seconds, because you know time is relative. That 10 seconds felt like an hour. And at one point, I started getting like legit inside my own head, fucking nervous, like scared, because like now I know I'm awake and I can feel I'm awake. I can't move, right. and I'm like just laid down paralyzed. And in all my head, I started actually screaming like, "Wait, just Chris, just wake the fucking move!" And eventually, and after like how long it was, I jumped right out of fucking bed. But like, I don't know if it was 10 seconds or 20 seconds, how long it happened, but that felt like a fucking like a week went by. But the fear, it was just like you can feel your entire body still. Like, you know, on auto tune, whatever, breathing, but you can't move.
The way that it's best described, and it doesn't matter your race, ethnicity does not matter where you are in the world.
Yeah.
It happens to like 50% of the world's population. Your body skips REM sleep and just goes into like deep sleep. So you're kind of skipping that process. And then a lot of times people, you know, like you said, not just that it's called sleep paralysis, but a lot of people like trip out and see shit. So when I only had one experience in my life too, and I'm like, what the hell was that? And then this girl that I've known for years and years since high school, she's like, oh yeah, I used to have that all the time. Like, I think she takes some kind of like antipsychotic or sleep meds for it. Yeah. She's like, yeah, I used to see a witch sitting on my chest all the time. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, I can beat that.
I didn't see no shit sitting on me.
I've had that happen at least a dozen times in my life. One time I was facing towards the window in an old house, and I blinked my eyes opened up involuntarily, and I saw something sitting in my chair. I'm like, okay,
Shadow people.
fuck this.
Yeah.
Closed my eyes again, blinked, my eyes opened on their own, and it was like a dude's face, and he was grinning with shark-like teeth
Jeez.
and scars. Like somebody cut him, and his flesh literally opened up, staring within 6 inches of my face. And I'm like, the fuck? His face vanished, and I went to sleep. I'm like, okay, fuck this. I need to stop drinking. But I don't know if it was real, because every time I think of it, it sends a shiver up my spine, or if it was a dream. It was so vivid. Literal fear runs through me thinking about it.
I saw a shadow figure walk in front of my TV. So again, like you're kind of half asleep, half awake. So you're aware of your surroundings. So I knew, like, I'm in my bed. I know that, you know, my nightstand is right there. I know where my TV is on. And I saw something walk in front of me. I shit bricks. Now, my mom is Christian, Catholic mostly. Told her she's sending me a Jesus package, a rosary. She's telling me to go get some holy water at the church. Talk to my aunt, a Native American, living on the res. She's sending me sage. She's telling me all this stuff to do around the house. And I'm like, I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, and then my aunt is like, oh, well, you got a visitor. I'm going to come down. I want to hang out with the visitor. I was like, just get some, whatever the fuck it is, get it out of my house. But like I said, it was this, I'm 99% sure it was that sleep paralysis. Crazy shit.
Hello, darkness, my
Disturbed does it better.
Chris is like the sound tech tonight.
Oh, I'm gonna have someone phone zap. But yeah, it's they still don't like. Well, back in the days before technology became what it is, this is when people would say, like, you know, hey, like, you know, believing in ghosts or believing in spirits and demons and shit. But like, still, even scientifically, they still like there's some kind of chemicals in our brains that we secrete, and that they can't really fully explain what's causing it. But like, it's just basically, you're awake and the same chemicals that you produce as you're sleeping to create dreams, but they still can't even explain why it is that we dream for. Like, what is that? Like, what is it's like the information overload that what you go through during the day. Some people, like, you know, it's funny hippie talk, but some people feel like, you know, it could be like our vision into like seeing different dimensions and shit. I mean, who fucking knows?
I don't think it's that deep.
No,
because it's not. Dreams aren't exclusive to humans. Animals dream too, so it's not. It can't be a special insight into your soul or whatever. It's just some shit that biologicals do.
Doesn't Joe Rogan talk about the deprivation tank too, the float tank?
I want to try that. Well, he has one in his house, but they actually have them around Albany. But like, because of COVID, we can't check them out. But I've actually just been curious, like, you know, because the main thing is they've done so much testing over the years, and you have to have the temperature. The water has to be at a certain temperature, and the salt to water ratio has to be a certain level too, which is the point of the tanks. And when you go in there, they said like you're basically floating, but they're like, this is, you know, it's almost like a psychedelic experience, because at that point, because when it's like your senses, when you hear something, smell, whatever, when you're inside that tank and they close the lid, there's nothing. There's no sense of time, no sense of place.
You're just in tune with yourself 150%.
Yeah, and just your own thoughts.
Well,
I couldn't do that.
I wanted to try it. Just as why not? Because
you want to know the worst thing in my life? Fucking right here.
I'm telling
my
you,
head
brain
is my biggest enemy. It comes up with the most fucked up shit.
I agree 100%. My imagination is nothing to fuck with.
That's what I'm curious about.
Be trapped with myself in, what is it called, a sense deprivation?
Yes, sensory deprivation tank.
Fuck
yes.
that.
Fuck it.
So
alone with my brain?
Joe Rogan talks about dropping mushrooms and then doing it. Like, supposedly, I've never done it. You get your own fucking trip just being in there. And like, for me, I'm claustrophobic to begin with, so that better be a big fucking tank, because just being in the dark and floating and Jen, zero grav, basically.
Before Elliot was saying, like, how many times, like, you know, we growing up on the fucking rest, a lot of Indians, sweat lodges, but then before they would go into a sweat lodge, they would take shit, whether it's like mushrooms or peyote or just, and like they would see things, and like, who knows, it could be like, you know, us as humans like losing in touch with nature. But like, this has been something that I'll talk about my dad later on with this, but even as a kid growing up doing different book reports in school about Native Americans, and like a lot of fucking natives, and this was, you know, you can prove it or say not, like a lot of chiefs would sit there, they would go out to the tribe and that night say, hey guys, they would basically give a speech to everyone there and say, like, you know, this is my last night on earth, and they knew when they were going to die. And who knows?
Spirit journey.
I mean, and some people, like, and the funny part, and every single time they would say that, they wake up next day, they had a sense of death and time that sometimes I feel like technology kind of takes it from us. But like, I don't know what that is. Like how, like, I mean, I have no idea when I'm going to fucking die. And people like, unless you're on a hospital on your deathbed, but these people, they would call, like, they would go on a big, this is my last night on earth and shit. And
I think most people would know, like, when the time is on you. I think because animals, for the most part, know. Animals always travel to like secluded areas where other animals of their own species died, and they sit down and die.
But also animals, and we talked about this before, they have a sense of the earth that we don't understand. Like, how birds, cats, and dogs, they know when an earthquake is coming, and we don't. Like, how is that?
They pay attention.
They know everything. Like, when storms coming, they'll run away and stuff.
And like a lot of people have speculated as like, as our brains have definitely evolved over the years, but also our dependence on technology has also evolved because, like, and this has been proven, and all of us have experienced this. Like, you could be driving a car. Well, this is Jen and Sue would know this more than us, but like, I'm driving a car and like I'm in a red light. You look over and you see this beautiful woman, and like you're sitting there like, man, that chick is hot as hell. And you're staring at her, and she could be talking to 3 or 4 friends, and I know where she looks over, and if anybody in the whole situation, she looks right at you. And you're like, this chick is 20, 30 feet from me. And like, she's talking to you, she stops, and like, you're looking at her like, damn, that chick is really good looking. And she stops and looks directly at you. And like, how do you know, out of the 1,000 people in this vicinity, you knew I was looking right at you? Like,
listen, there was a point in my life where I was reading all these books where there are a whole bunch of scientists that talk about that exact thing. They said it's not limited to that. There's also times where you'll be sitting around and you'll think about somebody, they'll just randomly pop into your head, and then the phone will ring, and it'll be them.
Yep.
And then you'll be like, it's like you said,
manifesting just from like your thoughts or whatever. And my friend and I were just talking about that.
There was a lot of books written about that. You could like Google that shit. There's there's a lot of theories about the mental connection between humans that we don't understand that exists, right? And for the most part, nobody's doing like massive billion-dollar research into it, but people have talked about it forever.
You mean like between twins who can somehow know what the other twin is doing, thinking, or feeling, and they're just like, I called you because I thought you were feeling upset. How did you know?
And that it's insane. Like, people have like theorized forever that humans have a capability.
That's actually true. Like, if you actually like know people who are twins, like, have a talk with them and sit them down and see, like, for sure, like, specifically, like, try with, like, identical twins more so than, like, say, fraternal.
Identical twins used to be the same. They're literally the same thing. They come from one egg, and the egg splits into 2 people. Like, they're the same thing.
The Nazis actually experimented with that.
I believe it.
I hate to sound like be a downer, but
it's not only them. A lot of people throughout history, like, there are 1,000 theories, and a lot of books have been written. Nobody, like, the Nazis probably might be the only group that decided, let's do some real research. Well, people have talked about it forever.
They did.
I mean, like, Chris torments me because I'll watch, like, the WWE app all the frickin' time. Yeah. But there's a show on there called Ride Along, and I've watched every episode of it. In one particular episode, 2 sets of twins who are professional wrestlers were each riding in a car. The one set is, I don't know how well you guys... Elliot, I know you said you've watched wrestling in the past.
Are you talking about the Bella twins?
I'm talking about the Bella twins and Rikishi's sons.
Yeah, I know them.
They were each in a car. The one of Rikishi's sons, he's dating one of the female wrestlers, married to her, actually. And she calls the Bella twins, and she's like, I've always been curious, like, are twins really that connected? She's like, I know these guys are, like, fraternal twins, and you guys are identical. But, like... let's play a game and see, like, do you guys know what each other are thinking? And the Bella twins did better than they did. Of course, they all lost in the end because none of them named anything similar to each other. But
I had a before Chris goes on what he's reading. I had something happen to me one time. A lot of people are like, "You're so full of shit. You're a fucking liar." I'm like, yeah, maybe I am, but this happened to me. So to me, it's real, and nobody will ever take that away. I think it was Vale Cemetery in the middle of winter. There's like this little body of water, and me and my friend were, I don't know, I think she wanted to visit her grandmother or something. Mm-hmm. She felt the need to visit her grandmother's grave, and for some reason her car died going into it. And I was like, okay, I thought nothing of it. But to me...
See, but that's more like, there's plenty of paranormal shit, but that's more, I feel like, I feel like I 100%. There's spirits, there's ghosts, there's
shit out
I don't believe
there.
in anything's gonna hurt you. But to just go back to like the twin thing, I feel like it's the same thing with like a mother's intuition. You know? So when you talk about twins sharing an egg, a mother sharing her body.
Yeah,
she
knows what's
maybe
wrong
a
with
single
kid.
dad who like the mother died, the dad would kind of build that bond with the kid.
Yeah,
and kind of have that same intuition.
Like that.
Shit's real, people.
Like,
Open your eyes.
I feel like there's a general capability amongst humans to mentally connect, and it will be definitely stronger between twins, and like you said, a mother and a child. The connection might be stronger, but I think just generally amongst humans, there is a mental ability to connect. Like you said, you will be going down the road and you'll see a person, and you'll be like, "Damn, she is really good looking," and she'll fucking turn around, stare you right in the eye. Like, there's no reason that she should randomly from across the street
know what you're thinking.
Turn her head and stare directly at you. Like, but it happens. That shit, it happens all the time. Like weird shit like that.
Well, that's like too with like females, and like I know it will probably gross you guys out when two females are around each other. A lot of times, like their period cycles.
I was gonna say that's been proven. Well, especially at jobs.
That's fucking proven. I'm sorry, but I 100% believe that shit.
Yeah, that's been medically proven.
It happens. Yeah,
it does. It really does, and it scares me.
Look, I'm gonna see what that term is.
And that's just like if human bodies could sync like that, why not minds? You know, like
well, they can if you open yourself up to another person. I know some people where I will have this gut feeling that something is going horribly wrong in the world, and I'll start texting. A couple people. I'm like, yo, is everything okay? I feels like, the world's coming crashing down, and someone eventually will be like, yeah, something terrible happened. How did you know? I'm like, yo, the world just felt like it came crashing down on me. What's wrong?
No.
That shit could even manifest itself in dreams. I remember when I was a young kid, my mother used to tell me stories about in our family, like in the olden day and stuff, people would have certain dreams. Like somebody would dream about fishes, and it would mean that this person is about to have babies, or it's weird like that. Like weird stuff like that I would hear.
No lie. When Renee passed away, you remember when Renee passed away. Our friend Renee, the one we talked about who got hit by the car on Central Avenue. Now, she had been at the bowling alley with me that night, and when they left, they made it home, whatever. Well, her husband, they didn't make it home.
Yeah.
But now, Chris texted me while I was at the bowling alley, and he's like, hey, like, there's, like, fire trucks and freaking, like, ambulances and so on and so forth at, like, Ralph's, and, like, you can't see what's going on, but, like, something must have happened. And I'm like, I looked at, like, one of my friends, and I'm like, well, shit, I hope, like, Renee and Ginny are okay. Like, they just headed home, like, not too long ago. Then the other Renee that we were working with at the time, she came to the bowling alley that night, and she's like, yeah, there's, like, a ton of, like, fire trucks, ambulances, cop cars, everything up by Ralph's. And I'm like, I've been trying to, like, contact Renee. She hasn't responded to me. I've tried contacting Jimmy. He hasn't responded to me. I've called the house phone. I've called her cell phone. No one's answering. I hope it's nothing to do with them. I get home. I'm up. Her daughter sends me a message. Mom passed away. Hit and run. And I was just like, holy shit. And, like, weird shit was happening throughout the day. Like, Renee never talked about, like, her age, like, how old she was. Like, until she actually died, like, no one knew exactly how old she was. And shit. Like, I went with her to frickin' Target, and she was picking up, like, a prescription. And when you go and pick up a prescription, you have to give, like, your birth date. And shit. So, like, that day, I found out how old she really was. And she looks at me, and she's like, don't tell anyone, you little shit. I'm like, alright. Then, like, we were crossing the street, and she took me by the hand. She's like, be careful when we're crossing the street. You could get hit by a car. And all this other shit. And, like, it was just, like, little stupid shit that looking back on it, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, I was actually reading up on the whole term about women who, synchronize periods. But it's like, they can't actually say this is all theory because they still can't medically prove why it happens for. But, it says the theory behind the syncing of menstrual cycles is that women's pheromones interact when they are in close proximity, causing them to have their period at the same time.
Oh my.
But they're just saying that, like,
I don't understand that, because pheromones also, like, are heightened when you're horny. So if we're all hanging out at a party and Longhorn's there, and you're horny because you want to fuck Longhorn, does that mean I'm going to get horny because your pheromones are going to
You might actually just.
It's possible.
That screams mating season. Like, it's breeding time, boys. Woo!
Like, oh my.
Well, the thing get into with pheromones, but if you're only seeing Sue like once in a while, but if you're living with her and you're spending time with her like, every single day, that could be a difference in like how,
Not to be gross, like some of my best friends, like when my cycle used to come the same time every month, they started most of my friends are dudes. Start hanging out with my girlfriends, all of a sudden my shit's at the beginning of the month, I'm like, what the and I'm like, I call them up, I'm like, what the hell? And she's like, I'm my period right now too. I'm like, you motherfucker. I had 2 weeks to go still.
You owe me tampons.
Right?
Well,
Chocolate
that happens
tampons,
at
bitch.
Goodwill.
And a
That
card
happens
saying
at
it's
freaking
beautiful.
work. Like, all of us wind up syncing up at the exact same time.
this was a article.
Sucks at work, because then you're popping off at your coworkers like, fuck you.
And, like, then we're all, like, arguing with each other, and it's like everyone's ready to, like, murder one another. Chris has been in those situations.
Yeah,
Chris is a warrior. Veteran of the Great Blood War.
Jesus Christ.
Like, think of the amount of times, like, I, like, literally had snapped at Kristen,
That's what it's.
and Kristen would snap at me, and I'd be like, that stupid little skinny bitch, I want to, like, slam her head into the side of the dumpster and shit. And she's like, I don't know why Susan's so mad at me, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm like, you didn't do shit!
Jesus Christ, you lost someone.
Good God.
Sorry.
Chris
That's what mom's
survived
yelling at you for.
the crimson tsunami of death and hate. I hate you. I feel fat. No, you look good. Fuck you. God, Chris, get out of there. Get out of there now.
Yeah, no,
He's stuck, though, with, like, us in the back room, like, all getting
Yeah,
pissed off.
it's bad if we come from a home with nothing but females and you go to work nothing but females and you're like, wonder why I'm fucking almost gay
Yeah.
for? Like,
Yeah.
I'll have all these,
I think
these
we can
female
forgive.
tendencies. Like,
I think we can forgive the poetry now.
yeah.
He suffered enough.
Yeah, seriously.
And the funny part, I've said this my entire life, you think after a lifetime of being butchered by women and tortured, being around you guys, I would still understand a fraction of you? And I'm like, I'm
You
working.
don't.
No, and it's because come to the the conclusion that women don't even understand themselves. So
Facts.
because
Yeah,
like
seriously.
the whole point, like Jen, that when you listen to it, that Sue did, like Al was making a joke, but it's not the joke, and you've been there. Molly's one of the people where she says all of these things that she wants in a man, but I guarantee we go through her dating history, and she's not dated a single guy that what she says she wants, because she just got out of she admitted to getting out of a toxic relationship. So again, all the things that you say you want,
Expectations
you never pick.
and reality are two different things. I'm not saying it's a bad
And
thing.
now she's dating Junior.
Yeah, but she's helping him put the Rogaine on the scalp. It's a win.
It puts the
Very
Rogaine on
much
the scalp,
losing
or I eat the acid then.
situation. And Al's covering his face like, fuck, baby, I feel insecure because Elliot has a full head of hair. Help me put this Rogaine on.
Jesus Christ.
I hope she likes her ass eaten.
Yeah, I know. Hey,
She's gonna learn to like it. Junior's gonna see to that.
just don't eat corn.
Here, I found it.
If Carl was here, we'd all
gotta
be
get a sound
fucking
effect.
in tears.
Oh, Al, so
laughing.
before, because you don't know Carlton's brother, but like this running joke, because I can say it to Junior because he's not here. When I left out of prison, I lost a shit ton of weight. So a lot of my old clothes I gave to Junior because as I lost weight, he kept gaining weight. So all my old clothes. So I gave him, I think he still has it, this blue shirt with this white stripes down it. And I gave it to Junior, and he was wearing this thing like just 7 days a week. I'm like, will you wash that shirt already? It's been like a month, okay? Like, it's getting creepy. So like, Junior would be on Facebook, he'd be like at different parties and stuff, and Carlton made a comment like, I'm checking Junior's Facebook page, and I'm seeing like the past like 2-3 months and shit, and he's got different parties and like 40, 50 different women he's hanging out with. And why is it always like the same pose, the same haircut, the same fucking smile, almost like he's photoshopping the same picture into different parties? So like every time Junior would sit there and like, yeah, Carlton, I was with this girl last night and I was eating her ass. His brother Malcolm would pop out of bed and like, Junior, shut the fuck up. You were playing Call of Duty last night. He's like, oh no, that was the other night. Okay. And so Junior, how's the weekend? Oh, last night and I was out with this one chick and Malcolm pops up, Junior, playing World of Warcraft all night. So
That's fucking great.
every time Junior mentioned these stories about fucking women, Carlton's like, damn, he's like, the way you talk to women, Junior, your whole game, it's just so weak. He would just draw it out like weak. He's just like weak.
Yes. Good.
But then Junior comes back, Carlton said, Carlton, the reason you got a wife for is because you're fucking like 6'6", you weigh 320 fucking pounds. Like, women are scared to say no to you. You're gonna pummel them.
Maybe.
Well, you've been there.
He's an imposing dude. I don't fear many people. If you cause him to get mad, that's your fucking
I've
funeral.
seen Carlton mad, I think.
Deserve
and
it.
the 30 years I've known him, like, mad one time, which thank God it wasn't at me, but like, yeah.
Yeah, you deserve it. If you make that man mad, you deserve whatever
Carlton's
ass
wife,
whooping happens.
Carlton's wife chose good because his wife is like 4'11" and Carlton's like fucking 6'5", so it makes no sense at all. Like, but you understand why she married him for? Because if you're gonna marry somebody,
someone who can protect your ass.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like
not some man who's worried about his hairline.
I've talked to Karen in detail, and she says that Karen had, she had some trouble past and stuff, and she had like a lot of trouble sleeping, and she was nervous, and she goes, ever since she met Carlton, she sleeps like a fucking baby because she knows that what's next to her. If you try breaking into this house, like you better have a shotgun to stop him because like
not just that, but look at me. We're roughly the same height, maybe a half an inch difference.
But the strength,
and he just has. Oh, you want to talk about strength? I pick up people over 300 pounds over my head
but Carlton
like they were
doesn't
fucking babies.
Some people just naturally like he's got like that mountain from Game of Thrones strength. Like Carlton doesn't even fucking weightlift, and he can just pick pick up a chair like with one hand. Like, he's not even fucking trying. Like he's like a damn gorilla. He's got that.
That's where I get mine from. Our mom's a fucking Amazon, and me and him have strength. My other brother, who's a ginger, and my sister.
Jesus.
My brother is doing fine. My sister, no, she's very weak. Yeah. Weak to the max.
Yeah, when Carlton says weak about Junior,
extra A's and
I hope Junior comes here Saturday because you're gonna see those two bounce off each other.
Oh no, Junior's gonna be sitting in the corner like I'm not gonna say anything. Like yes, fear the mountain man.
So but yeah, so the article was saying that they published this in 1971, and a researcher called Martha McClintock, she studied the menstrual cycles of 135 women in an American college. But her findings said that the date of the menstruation was more similar among friends and roommates than among random pairings of women. And she said that she hypothesized, again, this is not, these are just all theories because they still can't medically prove it. But she theorized that this is because the women who were spending time together had the chance for their pheromones to affect each other. Why would this happen? The most prevalent theory was that it was an evolved strategy among females to cooperate with each other, to stop becoming a kind of harm for a single dominant man. And it's like, this idea is that if women had synchronized cycles, they would all be fertile at the same time. So one man would not be able to reproduce with them all, which I kind of find bullshit because it's not hard for a guy to fuck it's like we can keep going. All right. But it says he can't manipulate all the females at the same time, so that's why it was believed to be a form of cooperation between females. So. Who knows?
Well,
it's definitely a chemical issue, though, or pheromones issue.
I can believe that, honestly.
Or bitches be cray and we all wind up being crazy at the same time.
I don't know. I mean, there's some porn out there with a dude. There's one dude. There's porn out there where one dude's in a room and 20 chicks are attacking him like fucking hyenas, and he's going at it like Rambo. So I don't know. I think that's bullshit. That dude is taking care of all of them.
But no. So back to the initial thing. It's called the biological phenomenon is known as gaze detection or gaze perception. Neurological studies have found that the brain cells that initiate this response are very precise. If someone turns their gaze off of you by turning just a few degrees to their left or right, that eerie feeling quickly fades. Scientists suggest that a complex neural network is behind gaze detection. Because, it's like I said, it's like, how do we even do this? It's actually an important feature of our sight, our brain, and certainly social aspects of our species. But, it's that they still can't, they know it exists, they just don't know why it exists.
Because that's the primal side of us. The side before technology just fucking ruined us all. Where we were meant to protect the women and children.
Like the example that you gave earlier about seeing the girl across the street?
Yeah, because the article just says, it's like, say you're engrossed in a task and you're going through your phone and suddenly that creepy, prickly feeling, we've all had it, that feeling grabs a hold of you, someone's staring at you. They've even proven this as well, that you can walk into, say, like a bedroom or something, your house, and see someone broke in and they're sitting there, they're quietly in that room, unless you're busy, you're distracted and stuff, but if you're like, say your phone's off, you walk in, automatically, it's been proven, someone's in the room with you. That's like, there's something you can feel that you can't explain it, but you know it's there. So
I know when someone's been in my room because I memorize where everything is located. And something's moved an inch, I can fucking tell you what that object is and what position it was
And then there's
in.
like whole studies too about people leaving auras and like different scents.
well, I was
and
gonna say
stuff
that
behind, too.
Rogan talked about that a lot.
I can smell people
they've
too.
theorized that there's certain places have memory and have energy, and it sometimes makes you do wonder if, like, even crime rate, for example, they've hypothesized that areas that are predominantly figure people are successful, everyone's happy and stuff, that crime rate goes down. A lot of these areas that crime rate is very high, what people are poor. They're poor, they're miserable, they're pissed off, they're like whatever the case may be.
Yeah, negative.
And also that crime rate, violent crime rate too. Mm-hmm. It makes you want to, it's proven that like human beings, like this room, for example, if all 5 of us are pissed off, we're more likely to like start doing stupid shit if we're pissed off versus like everyone's smoking weed and just fucked up and happy. It's like,
well, look at all these horror movies. You got ones like Candyman, which that was full straight up negative emotion that he came from. There's also there's that one where you say that female's name in the mirror 5
Bloody
times.
Mary.
Bloody Mary, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff where negative energy tends to hang, and honestly I believe it, because if you walk into a place of suffering, like, you can just feel, I mean, that's me. I don't like going into cemeteries because it feels like death and just utter despair, and I just feel sick to my stomach.
I don't know if you guys remember, here in Albany, probably about maybe 8 months, maybe a year ago, there was a Middle Eastern store, whatever, down south end of Albany. And the city was attacking it because people keep getting shot in front of his store, so they wanted him to close the store. Like, what do you mean? He's living the American dream. He has a convenience store. It's not his fault that people keep getting shot in front of his store. It has nothing to do with, if he's paying his taxes, he's whatever.
Exactly.
But they were trying to make him shut down because it was a hot spot for crime.
Yeah.
But maybe if we're talking about something like that, maybe, some people might say that corner or whatever is cursed or whatever, or it brings out, pheromones in people, or however the hell it works, and an aura is left there that's just...
Negativity draws negativity is what I think they were trying to say. Just like abandoned mental asylums, people go there like, oh, there's something here, and just strange, horrific shit happens. Like, the terrible things that happen there. And there's a lot of people like, I think it's horseshit. I think there's truth to a lot of it, because I used to be interested in these gateways to hell because I'm just fucking stupid. But okay, if there's a heaven, there's obviously a hell, and one was supposed to be in Vale Cemetery. After I saw that shadow fucking monster, I was like, nope, I'm fucking done. Why? Because
you found the gateway to hell.
I found something
black hole
that
the gateway to hell.
Oh, trust me, if I could like reenact that with somebody else, I would. But we all experience our own hells, and that was mine, and it was enough to scare me fucking straight.
I mean, I'm not always like based on life experiences a full fan of like ghosts and goblins and ghouls, but I also think that a lot of people out there have this mentality where it's like, well, if I can't see it, it doesn't exist. And I'm like, okay, but I still feel like we've talked about this, that there's certain energies out there, that there's phenomenon that you can't explain. And like, so I think it could be like a little balance of both, but there are things that do happen in your life. There's feelings that you get that you can describe it, but you can't see it. Just because you have this feeling of like, dread or something, or just like someone's watching you, you can't see it in a sense, but it's there. And
that's another thing. That's another thing that philosophers have talked about from like hundreds and hundreds of years ago. There's like that old quote, there's more things that existed between heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophies.
Really?
Like there are people that
I'm looked that up.
There are people that believe like, I don't know, it's kind of a complicated explanation. Oh, consider like ants. Consider us basically limited because of our physical makeup.
Yeah.
Because you look at the ant species, and by every definition of civilization, they are a civilized species. Yeah. However, they will never understand math the way we understand it.
True.
They'll never understand science and technology the way we understand it. Essentially, imagine that there might be an entire fucking species of beings out there that's, just continuously living their lives and having their existence, and we can't even interact with them because our physical makeup limits us.
Well, yeah. Okay, it's working just fine. So, like you were saying, Al, we had to take a break for some reason, but you're saying, like I said, they're with ants, they're existing, but they don't really recognize what we're doing because, I think it's simply if like we decide to murder them and destroy their entire civilization.
No, I'm just saying, the only reason I reference them is because based on the thing that I read, is essentially what limits ants from being the dominant species on the planet is simply their intellect, their lack of being able to comprehend what we're doing. Like they're not a stupid animal in terms of what they are, but when compared to our mental capabilities, they're clearly inferior.
Oh yeah, and I definitely agree. If you watch different sci-fi shows or movies, that if there is a higher form of intelligence, it's like we in comparison, like I said, the way we look at ants, they would look at us like how we look at ants. If there was something out there, and they keep doing with science, they keep discovering new planets that we didn't know this planet was there 10 years ago because now we have more technology with these different telescopes and we can start seeing further into the universe and galaxy. And we're not sure for people to think that this is the only planet capable of life is just really ignorant, or you're in a load of denial. They think that there's nothing out there that could support life and possibly or even to things like time travel. I mean, they're getting closer and closer, and shit. Even if time travel did exist and the government knew about it, they're not going to tell us, because they didn't want to get into our hands. Who knows? They could have had time travel already invented 5 years ago. We're not sure. Or interdimensional. I mean, we watch different sci-fi shows, but lots of scientists have said that other dimensions do exist. That we do have parallel dimensions. Who knows?
The beautiful thing about that, the argument that I love the most about time travel or interdimensional travel is that the fact that we haven't done it doesn't mean that it's not doable. People could argue about it till they're blue in the face, and they can say, "Oh no, time travel's impossible," whatever. But you cannot disprove the possibility of it. There's nothing that you could do that could definitively prove that we can't do it. I mean, we haven't done it yet. There's nothing that proves that we can do it, but you can't disprove it in the same breath.
Even technology, and they would always say, well, if technologies existed for different civilizations, where's the proof? Okay, we just mentioned I Am Legend before the podcast, but the premise of that movie was, remember Will Smith's character, you've seen just New York City after a couple of years already how much vegetation was forming, how much things or grass was coming up, and there's been different, shows out there that would show was it After Humans or something, or Life After Humans, everything that we've built recently, if time went by 1,000 years, 2,000 years and stuff, everything except maybe certain plastics, and even then, there wouldn't be, future civilizations wouldn't have proof of us being here. Now you take it whether it was Atlantis, whether it was how the pyramids were built, but people tend to forget when tens of thousands of years pass by, how much nature would just erase everything we've created and shit. So it's we have no idea 20,000 years ago what was going on.
The funny thing is about it wouldn't even take tens of thousands of years. Literally, if something happened, and I would give it maybe 100 years, where if we lost all power right now and something happened and the human species was completely defeated and there's only a handful of us existing, and somehow we managed to meander ourselves into the future, and 100 years from now, those people that exist would they would have a complete lack of understanding of the way we exist right now.
Yeah.
Everything they find wouldn't make sense because we're using technology right now to power all this equipment. If 100 years from now somebody found this without being able to turn it on and without having current or electricity to power it, it would just look like a stupid artifact. It would be we found this useless thing that they did and we have no idea what they did with it. Yeah. It's right.
One of my favorite pictures is after that movie Blackfish, and they were getting rid of Shamu, at SeaWorld and stuff. Yeah. It was different memes that were showing SeaWorld 50 years from now, just outgrown, whatever. And so generations, 2-3 generations from now, what the hell was SeaWorld? What the hell did they have there? Why is it all grass?
I mean, in terms of the pyramids, they've proven that the one thing with, that technology is stone that stand the test of time. Those stones will last thousands. Who knows how many years? They still are totally unsure. They can guess, but no one really knows what happened 10,000 years ago. But they're going by carbon dating. But those stones, the way those pyramids were built, they've proven it that even Rogue will make this point. You could take a sheet of paper right now, any modern sheet of paper, and you can't even fit this paper between two stones in those pyramids that were created because that's how perfectly tight they were placed there. And the people say, oh, well, pulleys and systems, and that guy he had from Ancient Aliens would just say well, the technology, manpower, these things, it's we don't have technology nowadays that could build that shit. These rocks are hundreds of tons and shit. It's
consider the types of pyramids that exist all over the planet, the different the different civilizations that like existed back in those times that we don't even understand now. The stuff that they did then that we don't even know how to do now, and we think that they were less technologically advanced, then we can't even do the shit that they've done. And like with our best technology now, we can't even machine rocks to the perfection that they've done. Like they have things. I remember. I don't even remember the name of the show, but in Egypt they had unearthed these two things, and for all intents and purposes, they were essentially batteries, right? Jesus. But because they existed in the era they existed in, these guys are saying, well, they can't be batteries because these guys would not have had an understanding of electricity the way we do now. Yeah. But they're like, everybody's researching them and they are batteries, like, but nobody knows what for. You know, and that's the funny thing. And I'm saying, what if simply them guys were just on a different level than us, and the only reason we don't know is because the technology is gone. Like whatever technology that was there then, its power source is gone, and because the power source is gone, we don't understand how it works.
That's true. It's like if you were to take right now a fucking AA battery, you know, just battery by itself, and like 100 years from now or 200 years from now, someone found this random little thing, okay, and you didn't have anywhere to place battery. Like, what is this thing? Yeah. You know, it's like you have no.
You don't understand it. You would just consider it garbage.
But it's been theorized that you said the human species, we've probably been reset more times than we understand. You know, there's
a lot of history of it on paper. Like, this is probably going to be a deep brain fuck of a subject. But have any of you ever read the Divine Comedy?
I've heard about it, but no.
Like Dante Alighieri and his journey to hell.
Dante's Inferno.
Yeah. Dante's Inferno, Paradisimo, and
it's weird. I know Dante's Inferno, but the Divine. You don't think about the.
It's 3 books in one, and it is like 700 pages of pure mind fuck. And the conclusion I came with is hell, purgatory, and paradise are all prisons. Because in hell, depending on the terrible things you've done, there's literally different levels for what you've done. You'll either live in a pool of lava, a pile of shit,
holy shit,
or other things, or purgatory where you'll always be hungry but never eat, always be thirsty but never drink, and paradise where you constantly have to praise the Creator until the end of time, where all 3 of them are just literally some form of torture in their own. I read it. Like, have any of you actually read the whole?
I haven't read it. I've heard the stories about it, and I've seen
3 books in college.
Oh, Jesus!
That's part of college as well.
Like, well, I think it's a read for everybody because I think it's one of those things where it will expand your mind on. Not that your people are bad, but I think it will expand your thinking process. Like, it's one of those morality things, like, you've done this, do you deserve this? You've done this, do you deserve that? You've been good, do you deserve yet another prison? It's like, it follows this Italian man who's pretty much committed different sins, and he's guided through hell, purgatory, and heaven through different angels, Virgil, and also Beatrice, his love, who he slept with another woman, but he promised himself only to her, but she showed him heaven. And heaven was 24/7. You praise God. You don't think, you don't breathe, you don't do anything, but you praise fucking...
A lot of people believe that.
Heaven or hell, or any of that kind of stuff. But I'm agnostic for anything, but I was very interested in the teachings of the Dalai Lama and Buddhism.
Yeah.
And, kind of karma and reincarnation, and just, at the end of the day, it's just being a good person.
It's a mind opener. I think I read that. That was one of my first books when I started reading again. I read a couple hundred books in a year. I got really obsessed with zombie books, but reading the Divine Comedy, it really just opened my eyes up to what could be. what we think is and what really is. It's just a mind fuck of a book.
That's why shows like Ancient Aliens do exist, and I tell anybody who listens, if you pop on Joe Rogan and he had that guy on from Ancient Aliens, and that's a fascinating 2.5 hours. It is. Call the guy what you want, but this guy, he would break down to Joe, and Joe would just let him talk and talk and talk. But the way he would break down these scientific facts, you're like, the man's got a point. It's like, but.
I probably would never read that book, and it's only one reason. That's because I wholeheartedly reject any readings with religious undertones. And it's not like I sit back and I wonder to myself how many incredible works I've probably deprived myself of because they have religious undertones, but I can't do it.
That's perfectly fine. I think we as a person have a right to define what we want in our life and what we put in our life compared to what others want to. I found it interesting. If other people are like, I don't want to because of such and such, you're perfectly reasonable to say, I don't want to. Because what I might like, other people might be like, that was fucking shit. I hate you. I want to hit you with this book.
I read most of the Quran just because, it was part of a class to read the first, kind of the equivalent of the Bible Genesis. But before I can judge something, I can't even comment on anything until I fully understand it. So, a lot of people are, in that religion, we're all infidels and we're all this and we're all that. For me to fully understand of how, if that's a thing and they hate white people or whatever, anybody who's not them, then I have to look at the book and I gotta, figure it out and see what's going on.
Yeah, it helps to at least be knowledgeable about what you either like or dislike. And like I said, Al not wanting to because of the religious undertones, it's perfectly understandable because it's hardcore religion, hardcore politics, and hardcore morals. What you do defines this. You did this, you deserve that. And it's not something you could read lightheartedly. Oh, well, I'm bored. I'm going to read the Divine Comedy. No, it's like, wow, I read that shit and it fucked my brain up. You've been warned. If you ever read that book, go in with an open mind and no bias if possible, because it will fuck up your way of thinking.
Before this next news story, I just said, remember, I gotta start writing these guys down, listen to them. But Rogan had on this guy that they were doing tests with dogs and cats about what animals know we don't know, and they've proven this, where it's an owner can be driving home, and the dog, they've studied this, where the dog will put its ears up, they'll walk to the front door wagging its tail. This owner is 5 miles from the house, and the dog already knows when you're coming home.
He understands the concept of time without knowing what time is, I think.
But even I've had take our cat Chloe, for example. This street has X amount of cars, and I'll be driving down the street and I look over, and the cat is a good half a block and stuff. Now, how does cat recognize my car? Out of all the cars, how does a cat recognize that vehicle? And as I'm driving, pulling up and stuff too, she hops off the friggin' front porch, starts walking towards the car, and I'm looking and I'm not even she could probably still see me, knows, dogs, their sense goes by smell. It said, the way dogs smell is how we see. Cats have a better sense of vision. But the fact that she'll see my car and not even see me as a person, how does...
cats have a better, their eyesight is, impeccable.
Yeah. So, what I'm saying, the thing with dogs is that animals there's a certain sense of, they have that we still don't understand yet. And maybe...
that happened yesterday with, LaRue. I was out in the backyard with him. This was, right before your mom came home. I went downstairs, I looked at Madu, I'm like, has he gone outside, since Nancy left? And he's like, no, he hasn't even, gone towards the door or anything. Yeah. So, I just look at him, I'm like, come on, pup. So I bring him outside to, so he can do his business. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And he automatically goes to the back door. Now, I didn't know your mom and Kaya had just gotten home.
Yeah.
But he went right to the back door, and I opened the back door, and there they were in the kitchen. And he just runs in, starts, going insane, because we all know, when it comes to your mom, she is that dog's end-all, be-all. Oh. And shit. And, then, she let him back out, and she's like, did he go to the back? And I'm like, he didn't do anything. He did nothing. Yeah. It's
just scary that, an animal could, you can be, 5 miles from home, and this animal already knows that you're almost home. You're like, wait, what? How do they know that shit? It's, damn. Almost which is scary that, this has happened a lot of times. It's kind of a cliche and a lot of love stories, but I've seen it firsthand with our neighbors next door. Some people, what is it where they get so in tuned that they're married for 30, 40, 50 years and one of them dies. The husband or wife dies, and their spouse lasts like a month. And like and it's you'll see it happen, and the doctors like, this woman's in their bed or they're in hospice, and they'll say, "What's wrong with my mother, father?" And they say, "Honestly, nothing. There's nothing medically wrong with this person.
They died of a broken heart.
But their will to live is just gone." And there's just nothing we can do to save them. And like I can't imagine waking up to the same person for like 50, 60 years, whatever the case may be, and then one day wake up and that person becomes like
that's life. And what it is a lot of people can't see their life without that aspect in it, so they just lose the will to live because that force, that driving force of life is gone. Therefore, it's just, even if they have kids, they're just like, I give up. I give up.
That's what I'm saying with this whole thing, but I even wonder, it's like, from a physical standpoint, there's no explanation on that too, and even like mentally, but there's some kind of like...
there is an explanation, we just haven't found it yet.
Yeah. So.
Or we don't want to acknowledge what it is.
Have you guys seen this? I'm showing this to Jim, but Alice sent me this by seeing this like a week ago about that big ass bat.
What?
Look at this.
A man-sized bat.
Look at this right here. This is actually I'll probably show you a video.
Hang on here.
This is a
I have
freaking.
to actually see this.
People thought this was Photoshop. It's not. They said its wingspan is about 5 feet 6 inches, but this is a bat they
Holy!
Yeah.
That's gotta be fake. Like,
No, it's not. They've proven it's not fake.
That's a fake ass picture. Throwing that out there.
Yeah, it says, look at actually, there's monster penguins that roamed that was once New Zealand, or the humongous sloths that ambled around South America. In more modern times, these beasts are scarce, but they're still around. And the latest one to grab the internet's attention is known as the flying fox. Despite their common name, flying foxes are actually bats who belong to the, I can't say that, Pertopus genus, and are native to tropical climates in places including Asia, Eastern Africa, and Australia. So they get incredibly large with their golden crowned flying fox, who can develop wingspans of more than 5 feet across, being among the biggest of them all. But the one seen in the photo looks extra big because the images found the images force perspective, which is an optical illusion that can make an object or photo look bigger or smaller than its true size. So
we're fucked.
See, that's the way right there, Jen. Well, they're trying to say that the camera angle made it look bigger than what it is.
Right.
So
I mean, camera angles play a part. Like, if you scroll up a little bit, like that's another scroll up.
That's the
When she
Jersey
was
Devil.
right there with the Leaning Tower of Pisa, that's just an example of how camera angles
like this. Like this woman's got her hand up the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa looks like it's like 2 feet above her head. Because of the way they
but it's really, hundreds of feet.
Yeah. So it's like
the story's
trying to say this bat is like, it's not it's definitely a big bat, but it's not like as big as making out to be.
Considering some of them drink blood, I'm pretty sure that thing could drink
it says they're
human being.
It says they eat a mostly vegetarian diet comprised of pollen, nectar, fruits, and other flora. On the rare occasion, the flying fox might chow down on an insect if it happens to come across one or catch one during an accidental flight. So.
We should say we wouldn't be considered an insect to that thing.
The only real danger of flying foxes pose to humans is the possible transmission of spread of diseases. Okay, but
that's any animal.
But since they don't attack people, are likely to catch anything if they're left alone. So that's a big fucking bat, or a flying fox. But yeah,
I don't know. A wolf can fuck up multiple human beings. So a bat that big, we're kind of fucked.
Do you remember back in the day when Mark had a bat stuck in his hair?
Oh, God, screaming like a girl.
Listen. Yeah, screaming like a girl is justified 100% when a bat is stuck in your hair.
Well, I will never forget that. I mean, like, what are the odds?
Maybe that's why he started wearing his hair so short.
Hide and seek or whatever we were doing.
Fucking kids.
Mark's got his big red Jew-fro. And it just like swooped down. He's like,
this will be
I was little. I could not.
None of us are gonna get tired of this because I can imagine this is just July, but like the next 6, whenever she dies, it's gonna happen. With like we were just talking about this before you got her, Jen. This thing with Epstein's whatever she is, but it's gonna constantly come out more and more stuff with her. But
I don't even know how to say it.
It's Ghislaine Maxwell, but
that's his pimp.
The current article, because it's like it's literally every 12 hours a new article's coming out about her, so I can't keep up. I'm just reading one out of like the 10 million we're gonna read.
When you guys were talking
Hollywood
about her,
is definitely gonna fall.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
It's just
This-
Politics, Hollywood, it's all going to come
This
crumbling down.
current news article, which you can see this, that Corden, she says that she has tapes. She has tapes of 2 prominent U.S. politicians having sex with minors and boasted of owning powerful people. Former friend and jewel thief claims. So she's working with the feds, and she said she's got proof and tapes. And if like she,
Why doesn't she just name them?
She's so
Right now?
fucking dead for saying that she
That's
has
probably not
evidence.
The reason she's not going to name them is like Elliot said, this shit is going to get her killed.
Yeah.
So she's going to work with the feds, and they're going to pick people up in secret.
Anybody else?
I know one of them.
Protection.
I know one of them, and I'm saying it right now. If she ends up dead, I'm blaming Hillary Clinton. Fuck it.
also that she says she has clips of celebrities and world figures having threesomes, even orgies with minors.
All right, so here's the thing. Now, Epstein Island, his little pedophile island that he had there. I mean, you talk about places in India and shit like that. They're marrying 50-year-old men are marrying 9-year-old girls. So whenever all of this shit blows up, I bet you there's going to be, the retort is, well, this was a private island, so American laws aren't there, and blah, blah, blah. So, but then the whole fact of the matter is that we have idolized these celebrities and politicians, and then they're out fucking kids, and then coming back, and then we're idolizing them. Oh, it's my favorite actress, it's my favorite singer, like, and it's almost like, whoa, like, you can't do that and then be an American celebrity, because we're not about that life.
I mean,
here.
Exactly.
Depending on what happens, it's like
They may not go to jail, but their career's pretty
well, I
much
was gonna say
ruined.
that it's like
That's the thing. That's why they did it in secrecy, and they did it outside of America, because they wanted to do this heinous fucking thing, but they don't want to pay the consequences for it.
Fuck that
Right.
shit, I'm out.
yeah.
I gotta give Jen a high five, because I think I was talking to Junior about that earlier. I'm like, you want the world to burn? Fucking find this black book with exactly which politicians or actors and actresses have been fucking underage girls, and the
feds have that
world
shit
will
right now.
kill it. The world will burn itself alive,
Will
because
they
you'll
not-
find
will they
people.
not? Because Cardi B is not in jail.
You know, that's
Yeah.
true. I haven't.
And
I
she
just thought
flat
about
out
that.
admitted to
Yeah.
drugging and raping
Yeah.
guys.
Listen,
I mean,
here's the difference.
there's no evidence though.
The difference
Because
is
no guys are going to come forward.
the difference is it's just okay
True.
to do bullshit like that to guys.
That's true.
But you talk about
a men. Like,
underage girl, and the world
Yeah.
is gonna be fucking
That's the thing, I mean-
burning
And this
itself
is
down
gonna
to
sound
get
fucked
to
up.
them.
This is the shit that goes back to the earlier podcast that we had, where it's like, accountability, bias,
You're welcome.
feminism, like,
I just want to say, Al's like, this is gonna sound fucked up, but it is. But hey,
this is gonna sound fucked up, but I genuinely don't give a fuck about them guys that Cardi B was drugging and robbing. Like I don't like nobody. I don't care about it personally. I mean, it's fucked up that she did that, but consider the kind of guy she probably did it too. Like
yeah,
yeah,
it's not
probably.
Like it's not like she's. I mean, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying it should be done. There should be no excuse or justification for it. But me personally, I
just
don't
think
give a
it's
fuck
fucked
about
up
these
that
guys.
she just blatantly came right out and said,
we agree, yeah.
I drugged and fucked with people, and there's nothing that's gonna happen to me because of the stereotype that a man can't be raped.
Exactly.
A man can be raped.
Yeah, they can.
But like, it's just, and you're right. Like, no guys have come forward, so there's no evidence.
Those
There's no
guys-
nothing. But what pisses me off is she just gave zero fucks and was like, "Yep, I'm a celebrity, and this is what I did, so deal with it."
Here's
and
the thing, those guys
just admit
can't
that.
come
She should have
forward.
probation or something.
I mean, she does have one point, though. No guy's going to come forward about
They
it.
can't. They can't. Consider, I guarantee you, I promise you this is what's happening. The guys that she did that shit to, they all run in this kind of, this lifestyle of, I'm a street guy, I'm a thug, I'm this, I'm that.
If they
These
ever
guys
come out,
can never say,
they would.
I was drugged and robbed by Cardi B.
And raped.
They can't. They just got to live with that. They can't say that out loud. They can't tell anybody that. Like how do you can't if you're a street dude and you rely on your street cred as a tough guy to get you through life, you cannot ever cop to
Exactly.
Cardi B drugged me and robbed me. Like you can't.
I'm not gonna lie, I would never do it, but I could probably get away with doing it to freaking Longhorn if I really wanted to.
Probably.
I think you should try just to see.
Video
Just to find
I
out.
wouldn't.
Yeah. Please let us know when you do
We think you
this.
should.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
A show of hands.
I'm interested. I'm interested.
Do drugs and fuck, and then he's consenting.
I'm a lonely guy. Let me know. Not as lonely as Chris or Junior, but let me know.
Oh no, Junior's not lonely
Junior's
anymore.
not lonely anymore, man. Junior's got the wonderful Molly.
Junior's got a unicorn.
If he can't tongue punch or fart box, he's lonely.
Jesus.
I'm talking to you, Junior. Receding hairline.
Say, speaking of fucking creeps, I mean, it's kind of like fun with bringing up Jada and her son again, but I recently heard about this article where there was a YouTuber, and see, Jada Pinkett Smith and son Jaden slammed YouTuber Shane Dawson for allegedly sexualizing 11-year-old Willow Smith. And I guess he was making YouTube videos because the disturbing video that surfaced on Twitter showed the YouTube star looking at 11-year-old Willow on a Disney poster while appearing to pretend to masturbate.
Like,
okay.
was this when she was 11 years old?
Yes.
Okay.
No, saying he looked at a picture of her when she was on Disney, and he was just pretending to jerk off looking at an 11-year-old, and it kind of like, pissed off. Jaden commented saying, Shane Dawson, I'm disgusted with you. You're sexualizing an 11-year-old girl who happens to be my sister. It's the furthest thing from funny and not okay in the slightest bit. So,
Yeah, he's a very controversial.
I mean, I'm not saying I like
person.
I like him or Jada, but like YouTubers, just like, again, whenever we start a YouTube channel, if I have a poster behind me of 11-year-old girl and start like pretending to jerk off to her, comes across a certain way.
I might have to slap the shit out of you.
I'll put this out into the ether just so it, marinates. Chris, the day you jerk off to an 11-year-old girl will be the last time you and I have any kind of interactions.
My question is, why would you have up a poster of an 11-year-old girl? Like, how old is the guy,
He's
first
fucking
off?
weirdo.
He's
that's why.
like, he's in his 30s. I know about
Yeah,
this
why
guy.
would you have up a poster, especially
He's a
a
fucking
kid
weirdo.
on Disney Channel?
Because I think he
In your
refers
30s.
to himself as a
he's a lot of
YouTube
perverts.
journalist, but he's just an asshole who attacks people whom he doesn't approve of. He's friends with this guy called Jeffree Star or something, which is a guy who dresses like a woman and does makeup tutorials, and people are like, I love this person. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
It's
it's just
like-
it's anytime
it's
I
wrong.
see anybody like YouTube or Twitch person, it's just an article popped up and I'm just like this guy he'll issue an apology whether he still has fans or not has fans,
I mean,
but these people. they
All
just-
things considered, though, you do have to be on Jada and Jaden's side in that, because it's like,
well, yeah, I'm
that's
just-
her daughter, that's his little sister, and
Yeah.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like, dude,
exactly.
you're a fucking
Anybody here?
scumbag.
If I see a YouTube video where something,
I'm not on their side. I don't condone what that fucking asshole did, and I think he should get every fucking thing that's coming his way, but
He won't.
fuck
in that situation,
the
you would have to be
entire
on their side.
Smith family. Like, they are way too successful for me to give a fuck about what's going on in their personal life. They've got, like, the children less than half my age are fucking millionaires for doing nothing but inheriting their parents' fucking fame. And fuck them.
Yeah,
Fuck them. Like,
it's terrible
they're
people
not
doing
struggling through life.
terrible things to other people. I don't agree with either of them. I know who Shane Dawson is from, like, I heard it through the grapevine, and he's no good. He uses people's suffering to make himself popular, so he's no better than this.
I seen this one. There's a French guy. He was actually a French pedophile. He's going to face the death squad, which is like, wish we did shit over here, but he was he actually killed himself in prison. But because
Of course he did.
But he was accused of molesting 300 children.
What?
Wow.
Boy.
Fuck.
But so to say the least, they were gonna put him in front of the firing squad to end a
He
motherfucker.
deserved
But
it. You say that you said he's French? Because I literally was reading this thing about this guy. Like 2 days ago, I was reading this thing about this guy. They said that he's the worst human being in human history, where he was like French nobility, and he like raped over like 600 children, where he would have them bring children. He would have his servants bring children to him, and he would like rape and mutilate the children, and then he would go into this back room and cry for hours and pray and repent and ask for forgiveness, and then do the same shit the next day.
Mama didn't love me.
And then eventually, like, people got sick and tired
Actually,
of him, and fucking they ended up murdering him.
just because I know it's another topic, but we didn't ask Susan and Jen about this. But like, we were breaking this down when you guys weren't here. But what's your thoughts, whatever, about the whole like Alabama they passed last year the chemical castration law? Like, do you think that it's like basically, and it's only for certain sex offenders. If you are a certain sex offender, you can get out early on parole, but you have to voluntarily take drugs to lower your testosterone. And like Al said, what's funny about this is if you want to, you can stop treatment whenever you want to, but then you go back to jail. But like everyone's like, okay, so if you're taking shots to lower your testosterone, it doesn't stop you from doing anything.
Yeah. Right. It just stops you from being able to reproduce. Yeah, temporarily.
Well, that's
because once you're off parole, you don't have to. Once you're off parole,
you don't have to continue taking it.
Yeah. I believe in full-on fucking castration, dude. If you fucking raping 600 kids, you're done.
Cut it
off.
No
more dick for you.
I believe
flat out. Listen, I mean, that's just not.
No castration. If you're raping 600 kids, they need to put a bullet through your skull, put you in a hole, and just bury you. Like you're a monster that does not deserve to live.
Like hormones or whatever to lower your shit. I mean,
this was in Alabama last year. This was the mayor passed. She passed the law, but this was pissed me off. Is like, okay, you passed the law, and okay, it's only for certain sex offender crimes, but it's purely voluntary.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not even making it mandatory. You're making it voluntary.
That's the thing that takes the sting out of it.
Right.
Voluntary.
I just want to say,
it's like go to prison or do chemical castration.
And then what is that? So you have a sick individual, obviously, like you said, depending on the severity of the crime.
Yeah.
So already there's something fucking off in their head. So what is this fucking lowering your natural body's testosterone or whatever? What is that going to fucking tweak something else in your head? And what are you going to do next?
They hope or think that it'll stop their sex drive from molesting people. And I want to say,
where's the studies behind it?
Since they're trying to become part of the LBT alphabet
I read that
community
today,
to fucking get defenses to allow them to molest kids, I think a bullet is the cheapest way. It's like $1 or cheaper. Fucking kids. Okay, kids are supposed to be our future. We need to cherish them, do everything in our power to make sure they grow up with the best knowledge possible to better us as human beings. If someone's fucking molesting them, fucking alleyway, in a dumpster, in a trash can, put a bullet in their head. I will not hide from this, and people can be like, well, you're a fucking monster. Yeah, molesting kids is on a fucking whole new level. Shoot them in the fucking brainstem.
And this is the
they
future
don't
of
discern.
fucking Hollywood.
Yeah, this is...
Shoot them all dead.
Hollywood is a rape culture because we owe all the shit these people do. Whitney Goldberg is friends with a French director who sodomized 14-year-olds, and she's like, it's not rape. He fucking sodomized 14-year-olds, and you're up with him. You helped Ted Danzig put on blackface and call people the N-word, and that's not a problem. But when you don't agree with something, it's a fucking problem. Fuck you, Whoopi Goldberg. I loved you in Sisterhood, but fuck you.
Well,
these people are monsters, and they don't deserve to live. Kids are innocent.
I feel that way about the Catholic Church system that allows their fucking pastors to continuously rape children, and there is no punishment. That shit is insane to me.
Yeah.
It makes me sad because
there's not enough adults on the planet. You gotta go fucking and pour the innocent fucking.
Oh, a woman will never want me. I might as well fuck a 10-year-old boy. Fuck you. Get a bullet to the back of the head. I mean,
at least Mark's nice enough to remain a virgin. He hasn't tried to go after children.
Or is he? Like I was making a joke, he might just chest bump a kid later on in life. It's like an iron belly sound like, ting, ting, you're my son.
Well, the whole
iron belly.
Before I comment on that other thing, I want to read some more articles about that. But there was an article published today where like they're trying to change up the term pedophile, and they want to change up the term of what it is. So like like something I can't comment on it yet, but something along the lines of like minor attracted children. I don't know. Yeah. So
MAPS, MAPS.
It came out today, but like I read more articles. I just seen one quick article, so I'm not going to comment. But they're finding pedophile too offensive.
Yeah,
I quit.
No, there is in Britain. There is a man.
You're a pedophile. You touch children in their naughty places.
There's a man in Britain who's
douchebag.
50 years old who identifies as a 6-year-old girl. He was adopted by a
I seen that today
family,
too, and
plays
I gotta
with
read the
their
whole article.
underage children while getting fucking railed by 50-year-old plus bikers. He's a 50-plus-year-old man who abandoned his wife and 5 or more children so he can have gay sex with men because it's easier to say that he's a 6-year-old girl than to admit he's a homosexual. This is reality.
Yeah.
This is fucking reality. If you're
It's
a
out there.
homosexual, be proud to be a fucking homosexual. I will support
Amen,
you
brother.
100%. But if you're fucking saying you're a 6-year-old girl, fucking 50-year-old guys, you need a bullet in your head too.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I don't even think it's as simple as him rejecting his homosexuality. I think that that's genuinely his fucking fetish. Like, I feel like he gets off on pretending.
role-playing.
Yeah, I feel like he gets off on pretending he's a girl, a 6-year-old girl, and these big bad biker men are gonna come in here and toss me around. Like that's his thing. Like,
I'll look it up in a minute.
It's weird because it's not our thing, but
Hurl.
I feel like
Bullet
I feel like that's what he gets off
of
on.
the head is all I can say.
Like,
You abandoned your wife.
Projectile hurl.
This is the
Yeah.
thing. This is my thing that bothers me about people that do shit and try to say they have a weird hang up or whatever. It's like, if you have a weird fetish and you just embrace your fetish and you come out and say, this is my fetish, I'm homosexual, and I like to dress up as a 6-year-old girl. People will think it's weird, but for the most part, I'll go, whatever, you know, like,
Everybody's
but,
got a thing.
you know, but don't just be weird and then try to hide behind some weird bullshit that you got. Like, that shit just makes it harder for me to accept it.
Exactly.
What the
You're
fuck is
still
it?
in fucking denial, and
Yeah,
yeah.
like,
You hurt that the woman you pledged your life to. You hurt all those kids that you had with her while giving yourself to her. Who cares? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. But when you start acting like, oh, I'm a 6-year-old girl. No, dude, you're a 50-year-old fucking creep guy.
It's a long story, but I'll just read the headline where it says, I've gone back to being a child. Husband and father of 7.
Oh, yeah. See?
52,
7 kids.
leaves his wife and kids to live as a transgender 6-year-old girl named Stephanie. Okay.
Who works
Yeah.
and fucks
and you know,
bikers.
I'm gonna tell you
male
this.
bikers.
There is no way in your life that you go from
look at
being a
that.
straight man to transition into a transsexual, homosexual. Like, you always had these feelings, you just never acted on them until you got to this age. At this point, you're now destroying the lives of other people.
Right.
Like,
It's his midlife
Yeah.
crisis.
yeah, like you
No.
were going through your little midlife crisis, and you destroyed your wife's life, your children's life, possibly your grandkids' life, because you want to now act
And-
out your fetish. You should have
Yeah.
accepted yourself fucking 30 years ago. Like,
But this is what pissed me off too, where it just says, like,
Makes me
the article
so
I say,
mad.
Stefan says her adoptive family. You're not a girl. You're a 52-year-old man.
Fucking loser.
This is not a
dare
woman.
You transphobic.
Exactly.
You fucking loser.
you transphobic person, you.
This says her adoptive family, which consists of an older couple and their children and
Yep.
young grandchildren, are
Yep.
completely accepting of her identifying as a little girl.
He has full access to these underage children,
I
and
can't-
nobody
I-
thinks it's wrong.
I can't deny I was married. I can't deny I have children, she says in the video, but I've moved forward now and I've gone back to being a child.
Fuck
I don't
you.
want to be an adult right now.
I hope.
I have an
the worst
adoptive, I have a
happens.
mommy and daddy, an adoptive mommy and daddy, who are totally comfortable with me being a little girl, and their children and their grandchildren are totally supportive.
See, that just makes me so angry.
That's enough of that for today.
His children and grandchildren are supportive?
No, his new
No.
family.
Oh, his new
His
family.
adoptive
Oh.
family.
His
I want to know what his actual kids and grandkids feel.
Right,
God,
exactly.
They never say because they never care enough to actually talk to the people
As-
who are
you know
the
what?
actual victims.
I'm willing to bet that they did talk to them people, and they were all
look
like,
at that.
"Fuck him, we don't want to talk
Yeah,
about that."
but- But they'll never air that because
It's-
they have to be so progressive. Fuck that guy, you fucking sick piece of shit. You
this
want
shit's just
to
doing
fucking
it.
get off to
Ew.
6-year-olds getting plowed by fucking bikers? I hope you rot in fucking hell.
I wish he would have accepted himself like fucking 30 years ago when he was still young in his prime.
then, of course, it
instead
says-
If
instead
he
of
did this-
getting married and building
Makes
a
me so
family and then
mad.
hurting them.
Makes me
I
so
mean, I guess it's
angry.
more of like just people coming out with more different things with trans and stuff. But if he had said that fucking 80 years ago, they would have given him shock treatment.
True.
They would have been
that's
like,
true.
"You're fucked up in the head." Like,
That's
No,
true.
but
That
now
would've
it
accepted
shows
him
that he has a fetish for underage girls getting plowed by fucking bikers.
Well, the article, it's
It's
a big one,
fucking
but it did just say that,
sick.
at one point,
Pearl.
of course, he was suicidal, which is like, this has been,
So
it-
have I.
The reason he was suicidal is because he was unhappy with his life, because he was he's gay and he's attracted to men, and he was living a false life. You can't be happy living a false life. He should have just accepted himself years ago, even though it would have been a struggle, it would have been hard. It would have been easier to live your life as yourself, as opposed to marrying a woman and building a family and then abandoning them so you could now live your fetish. Like, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I would have supported him, but now it's just disgusting. There's also a person in Canada who has been talking to underage girls. I believe his name is like Yo Leave or something. He's like some 30-plus-year-old man who's been talking to little girls about how they put tampons in, sending them links to child pornography and asking, "Oh, if I walk into a girl's locker room, are you gonna call the cops or are you gonna let me watch you undress?" And I'm like,
Well-
what the fuck is going on with
He's
the
not
world?
in jail yet?
I think
No.
this guy did find Jesus, so he did join the church after he tried to kill himself a second time. Now he found Jesus in Toronto.
That guy.
Okay, yeah. Anyway.
Jesus won't. You know, that's the most convenient excuse.
So
I found Jesus because I'm a fucking. I like pedophile porn. Please, someone help me. No, fuck you.
Wow, I did not even hear that whole freaking thing.
he's saying it.
I'm mad. It makes me so mad because there are a lot of people with actual issues in the world, and this dude just gets off because he's like, I'm 50 years old now. I'm a 6-year-old girl who gets plowed
Well,
by bikers.
The scary
Fuck
part,
you.
the scary part, and I'll be careful if I word this before you go, Susan, is that as of right now, until he's hurt somebody, there's not much you can do about it. You know, it's like I don't agree with this shit, but he hasn't hurt anybody yet.
He's just pretending to be a girl getting plowed by men. Like, it's gross.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's only living his fetish. He's not actually out hurting children.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, I mean, he could do his thing. I'm not even mad that he's living his weird fucking fetish. I'm only saying that he shouldn't have fucked over his wife and kids like that.
Right.
Yeah.
They really got fucked over.
Yeah.
Because he wants to
They
outlive
really
his fetish.
did. They
We're saying
really
so?
did.
So, 2 things popped up today on my inbox on YouTube for recommended things to watch. One is Amber Heard releases staged photos and it backfires.
Amber.
And the second just popped up. It's Hollywood begs Johnny Depp to drop suit on Amber
I've been
Heard.
seeing a lot about that, which I'll get into that later.
They want him to drop the suit?
They
Yes.
want him to drop the suit.
Fuck
It-
that.
it
Write it
will-
out, Johnny. Write it
Yeah,
out.
I agree.
It will expose the hypocrisy of Hollywood.
Yeah,
That's why
Stick
they're
it to her
afraid.
nuts
Yeah,
and
before
Johnny
you
Depp.
before you and Jen got
And-
down here, I was telling
In
Al,
the
like it's
pooper.
on my phone, like it's just like it's every day. It's like I pull up one news article a day about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard because you can't keep up with it because it's like the shit that's. But to finish this article, so that guy who killed himself, but the cops said he was 65 years old. They found his computer, and the computer is where he kept all his kid porn and shit. But he had 300 kids between age of 10 and 17. They said he would approach the children and lure them with offers to work as models. Those who refused to have sex were beaten. He did face life in prison, also chemical castration, or even execution by firing squad if convicted. But then, of course, he just killed himself. So,
What was
He
his
took the easy way
name?
out.
see, the ones who agreed for the model work to have sex with him would get paid between $250,000 and 1 million rupiah, which is $17 to $70 in American. Those who didn't want to have sex would be beaten, slapped, and kicked by the suspect. He added. Video footage circulating online shows a handcuffed with his head bowed, and as he's flanked by 10 police officers, and so. But yeah, so he killed
What was
himself.
his name?
Try to find her here.
Something Frenchy.
Weirdo McWeirrington.
Francis Camille
Can he be
Abello.
Francis, Camille,
Yeah.
whatever, because I don't speak your language.
Yeah.
I hope when you get to hell, you suffer for eternity. You sick son of a bitch. Fuck you.
So, yeah.
You're welcome.
So we did pull up the article about the whole Naya Rivera, and I'm just letting this thing load. But so Jen, did you hear about Naya Rivera? She's actress from Glee.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the details were it was pretty. I only brought it up because I heard
Her 4-year-old kid was on the
how
boat
it happened. It
and
was fucking dark. I mean, which I didn't know. Which I assume in the fact check this later. Which like she's not the only like they call it the freaking the Glee curse because Glee has lost like 4 members now from just different weird shit. But yeah. But like I was saying,
So
during
did they actually come out that the body they found was hers yet?
no, this happened as before.
They confirmed.
Probably 5 minutes before we got her because it was updated where they did say autopsy completed. Family speaks out. They did find that was her body. And why is this freezing for? 1 second. Don't freeze. Here we go. Yeah. So it is actually what.
The gist that I got with that thing was that she rented a pontoon boat with her kid, and then all of a sudden they found not her but her kid. Was he by himself?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we had a life jacket on, whatever.
It was
and then
from
last
Lake
time I did,
Peru.
like-
Okay.
So it was just her and the kid on the boat the whole time? Like there was nobody
Her
else?
4-year-old son, Jose Hollis Dorsey. The two of them went out for a swim, but while she was able to boost him back on the boat, she disappeared below the surface. The current was apparently very strong the day she went missing. That may have been attributed to her drowning. Also, the boat and her son had rented that day was not anchored when they went for a swim. So, she was reportedly missing last week. She was later presumed dead as the search shifted from rescue to a recovery mission. But yeah, the cops showed up too, and her 4-year-old son was by himself on the boat. And
Not for nothing, reading up on the curse thing, sorry to interrupt,
Okay.
but it says the loss of the young actors have had some questioning whether there is a Glee curse. The discovery of Rivera's body coincides with the 7th anniversary of Monty's death, because Corey Monty, who was the first person of the Glee curse to die.
How many people are dead from this curse?
So far, only 3.
Four.
Okay, I thought it was 4, but
I thought it was 4.
Only
not a
3.
So how did the
That's not a
4-year-old survive on this boat for how long was
She
she by
They
kept
don't
herself?
know.
him in the boat while she went out to.
well, it says
Swim
what
or
it says according to reports that she was swimming with him inside the river or the lake, and she put him back into the boat. And after she put him back in, the current pulled her under. That's what happened. So
It's terrifying because it shows you it can happen to anybody. You need to be
Poor
more.
kid.
I feel terrible, but It's
The good thing for
fuck.
him is that he's young enough not to
yeah,
remember. Like he could still block out this fucking horrific shit that happened.
hopefully.
yeah.
It's a shitty situation all the way around, in my
So let's see,
opinion.
Yellowstone. Yeah, I heard about this a lot. Rogan talked about this about Yellowstone volcano. That eventually, if it does erupt, that we're fucked. Like apparently, if Yellowstone does erupt, they're not sure. They go by dating and shit. It's like once every like 600,000 years or something. But if Yellowstone erupts, that like North America's done.
I'm gonna
Oh, yeah.
piss off people, but here's a drink to that woman. You know, she may be dead, but at least she saved her child. That's more than what a lot of people can say nowadays.
My buddy is camping in Yellowstone right now.
So, the volcano latest Idaho quake tremors spark fear over a huge supervolcano eruption. Apparently, it's one of 2 supervolcanoes in our continent. But Idaho was hit recently by a 6.5 earthquake, believed to have been so powerful that it practically submerged an entire beach, sparking fears it could finally weaken the Yellowstone volcano in a neighboring state, Wyoming. Now, they said they don't know exactly when, they're just guessing, but when it does erupt, like, shit.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're not as powerful as we like to think we are. Nature will always. Nature is a destructive bitch. I love nature, but at the same time, I'm kind of more scared of
Wow.
that than what.
Fortunately, for
Anything.
some of these aftershocks registering as high as 4.0 on the Richter scale. Fortunately for some residents, the after effects has been so severe that one beach has been sunk underwater. Whoa.
Holy
That was supposed to be
shit.
along Stanley Lake, and the Sawtooth National Recreation Area has sunk into the water. Jesus. So,
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on. Like, you know, everybody was saying it's kind of, oh, we got murder hornets, and we got virus, and we got riots, and we got this, and we got that, and it's just another thing, and now fucking Yellowstone is popping up. We are so fucked.
No, great
Yellowstone
white
is a
sharks at
supervolcano.
beaches.
We would have literally, because it's in Wyoming, so we would have literally 10 minutes to respond. What are you going to fucking do in 10 minutes?
nothing.
2020
Run.
is the year Mother Nature wipes us off the planet and starts
Yeah.
over.
Can you blame her, though?
She's had enough of our bullshit.
The article saying Yellowstone won't necessarily be facing eruption anytime soon, even though Idaho is still experiencing shakes. But they have proven, scientists, that it's not a matter of if, it's when. It won't happen in our lifetimes, but like when it does happen, whoever's... Yeah. Okay, it last erupted 70,000 years, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, and there have since been registered an eye-popping 10,000 magnitude 6 or higher earthquakes in the western swath of the country. But
I don't believe that.
I mean, who knows what these numbers come from? Like every 70,000 years, like I have no idea. People
would probably want us to think that the world is okay no matter what happens. So, Sue.
Yeah.
Why don't you hit us with one of your questions, since, we got really depressed for the longest
Well, I got a funny one
time.
I'll pull up in a second because it's a big article, but it's fucking hilarious.
We need something jovial. We've been so dark tonight that
A lot of
I've had to
articles.
drink like 3/4 of a bottle of whiskey. I'm so drunk I'm seeing 2 of everything in. It's kind of weird.
I'm probably gonna hang out for probably another 20 more minutes or so.
It is weird.
So, well, when do you guys want to talk about?
Anything, Sue. Just tell us and we'll talk about it.
Okay. Everyone name TV shows, movies that they are a fan of, and everyone give input on if they like it, dislike it, or have never seen it.
Count of Monte Cristo, my favorite, hands down.
Oh, that's a movie. You gotta also say a sitcom.
Also a sitcom.
TV show.
You're making this,
Yeah.
Sledgehammer from the 80s.
I don't know.
You guys weren't even born when it was hot.
Don't make fun of me.
Chris was born. Probably.
So why do you think we would like either of them, Al?
The Sledgehammer was... It wasn't the first of any kind of genre of anything, but it was a comedy. It was funny, and it was the first time I was aware of slapstick humor that just was everything. It was this guy, this weird cop that slept with his big old fucking 38 Magnum, he was called Sledgehammer. He had this chick that was like his partner that was basically the same man to his goofy fucking character. And it was just great, man. I was watching it as a kid, so obviously it probably wasn't a great show, but to me, then, it was fucking amazing.
It was everything.
Hell yeah. There's also a shitload of, like, 80s romance movies that I fucking, to this day, still love and get teased whenever I bring them up. But...
Go ahead.
All the fucking shows like Mannequin 2, fucking Splash 2, fucking
Splash
movies like
classic.
Big, like Big with Tom Hanks. Like,
beautiful.
These are like fucking, these movies are fucking everything. Can't duplicate them and you can't count them out because they're still fucking good to this day.
Oh yeah. About you, Jen?
Recently I started watching a show called Manifest. About this, the plane that disappears, and I'm like that. I keep drinking and falling asleep, so I have to keep restarting. It's like fuck.
Listen, there is nothing wrong with drinking and falling out on a movie.
But no, it's kind of like this plane disappears for 5 years, and so for them it was like a 2-hour flight. So it's like the worst parts of the movie Castaway, like when he comes back and like Helen Hunt. What was it? Yeah. So he comes back and like she thought he was dead, so she moved on with her life and like whatever. So then that's what some of these passengers are going through, and it's a pretty dope show so far. We'll see where it goes.
I seen a preview for that, but I haven't
is that
watched
your
it.
favorite?
It's yet to be determined.
Wilson. How about you, Chris?
Wait, so you want to know the favorite movie and TV show?
Movie
Yes,
or
TV
show?
show.
Which is our
and
favorite
or
movie is
Yeah.
A League of Their Own. It won't change.
Yeah, I've often been asked that, like, just because, like, even when
I think you told me once, like, above everything else, like, your
drunk.
favorite was always going to be, like, T2.
I mean, it's hard. Like it's funny when Stacy, like, and anybody knows me, like, and it's how often Al, and even in prison, like, everywhere I go, I'm constantly a movie buff, or I should have been a movie critic.
Yeah.
And people ask me, like, like, Chris, name this one, and I can just, for some reason, my memory is shit. We know my memory is shit.
We all know this.
When it comes to movies and TV shows, I remember fucking everything. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
So it's been often asked to me through,
Because you memorize the shit you like, guys.
which is a lot of stuff. Well, like, our boss Jim would constantly, like, Chris likes everything, and I'm like, that's so far from the truth because, I appreciate so much good cinema and movies and TV shows that it's like there's so much to like. Because right now,
well, what it was Jim would always look at me and like I'd be like, oh, I went and saw this movie with Chris, and he's like, oh, and let me guess, Chris loved the fucking movie because Chris loves every fucking movie he
loved
sees.
it.
But how much good stuff is out there? Because like even Kevin Smith would make this joke, but it's true. Like like right now, in terms of nerddom and being a fan, like for Christ's sakes, the stuff that I wish my father was alive to see the MCU.
Yeah,
because Dad got me into comics. He would have the MCU would have been so much to him. But like take away even the MCU, like Netflix. The fact that Netflix, I got to see 3 seasons of Daredevil and 2 seasons of Luke Cage, and then like
3 seasons of Jessica Jones, 2 seasons.
But then look over into DC. It's just like I got shows like Gotham, but then Netflix. Every fucking week, Netflix has a new show where I'm like, this one show is awesome, but then there's one show, but then like movies, like we had Extraction with Chris Hemsworth, but then I'll just watch The Old Guard with Charlize Theron, which was fucking excellent. Like I'm at the point where I legit can't tell anymore. If someone says like, what's your favorite of all time, I don't have one because like every time if you said like Terminator 2, which is when I was a kid, one of my favorite movies of all time, but then like,
a great movie.
But then what about Predator? But then Predator, I could watch Predator on repeat. But then and then
that's another good movie.
Excellent.
But then like name any kind of fucking Van Damme movie or Chuck Norris. It's still on it. Like the first Rocky, I could watch Rocky.
You
actually,
can
any
also
Rocky.
have like multiple favorites though too.
I can't because like my thing is right, especially the past decade now with Netflix and Hulu and these streaming services. There's just so much out there.
There's so much good shit out there. That's a fact.
I really can't. Like, it's just every time I think I have my favorite movie of all time, like even trilogies. Like I said, I watched Lord of the Rings an insane amount of times. But then again, now how many times have I watched the John Wick trilogy? Like, so it's like I can watch John Wick. It's too much.
I plan multiple times. Part of the reason why I have the Disney app is to just in like quick sequence just rewatch every Avengers movie over and over.
But then, like, even like take away cartoons, okay? Like now, like you're seeing classics like Gargoyles. How Gargoyles hasn't.
I watched Gargoyles on Disney Plus.
At
least this is the third time I'm going through that sequence.
They like came to Disney Plus.
Yeah. But then take off. But then what about?
They were there from the beginning. Yeah. This is the first time I'm seeing it on there, though.
But then, like as a kid, how do I compare Gargoyles to Batman the Animated Series? But then X-Men got me into comics like that to this day. You can.
Well, like that's the thing too. Like you made the statement. You're like, the Spider-Man TV show from when we were kids, like it didn't have like the greatest like animation, but some of the storylines were like really good too.
The animation was epic to me at the time.
But even like recently now too, like with the whole like
to the X-Men though.
With the whole like even Kevin would joke about this, the first Batman, like when everyone was used to Adam West being Batman.
Yeah.
Then of course Michael Keaton comes out. Oh my God, look at how dark and gritty and stuff and traumatic this Batman is, which was excellent. But then years later passed by, then you see Christian Bale's Batman, and then of course you've seen how great Jack Nicholson was as the Joker. But then look at Heath Ledger's Joker. But then look at Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. So it's like the whole industry, it's constantly evolving itself. Where it's like.
I mean, the number one thing, like, everyone can agree on, like, the worst Batman in, like, Batman history is always going to be George Clooney.
Batman and Robin.
God, boy.
It's like, nipples on a breastplate. The Batman card.
Yeah. That whole
Oh God.
That's my point. But everything from being a kid who loves superheroes to comic books, like it's and the best thing for when I was a teenager in terms of comic book wise was Blade 1 and 2. Like, and I wasn't even the biggest Blade fan, but Snipes, those first 2 films, I mean, like it's as much as I liked X-Men and Spawn, they were decent, but Blade 1 and 2 I could watch all fucking day. Like, but then now look nowadays, like we got John Barenthal, his Punisher is fucking fantastic. Like the way he does the Punisher, like, and I never thought like I would get to see a Punisher. But me and Elliot just mentioned Ash vs. Evil Dead. We never got to see an Evil Dead 4. We got 3 seasons of Ash vs. Evil Dead. That was to me better than any Evil Dead 4. Because so it's like I can't like I'd have to sit down and give you my top like 20. Because there's just like I was like there's too much now. It's like and Alice, at some points I've had to rewatch shows because we're getting hit with so many fucking shows so quick, and then this also the problem with binge watching, which the past I'd say year I've slowed down so much on binge watching because we've all been there. Oh my God, the brand new season of House of Cards of Daredevil is so fantastic. The problem is when you watch an entire season of Daredevil in 2 days, 6 months goes by and you're like, what happened again at episode 5? because you watch it so
See, though,
fucking quick.
I don't have that issue.
I do.
Can literally like, to be honest, like, I love Supernatural. I've only watched it all the way through once,
Well,
and I can literally like name like how every single season like begins right off the top of my head.
But I think, for people though, I look at TV shows like anything we do. It's like if you have dinner, if you finish like your meal in 5 minutes versus like you take a half hour to eat your meal, it's a different of digestion. And like even Al was mentioning the show Attack on Titan, the anime, season 4 is coming out. He goes, I'm gonna have to go rewatch the first 3 seasons, which is not like he's, but I still feel like if you binge 3 seasons of a TV show in the course of a weekend versus the course of like a year, it's like there's a difference of like, now I watch 1 episode a day of it. If I love a show, I watch 1 episode a day because you need like time to like absorb it, think about it, versus like if you watch 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes in 1 day, it's hard. That's too much information for our minds to process that quick. It really is. Binge watching has made most people go back and rewatch TV shows all the time because and why? Like, I have to go back and watch season 1 or season 2, and like, because it's like you're absorbing information way too fast. It's like,
I am dipping out.
All right.
How do you think it's fair that you're the last one to show up and the first one to break out?
Yeah.
I know.
That's so sad. They gotta leave
I
us.
started before I got here, though.
And we were
Like literally,
some
5
of
minutes
us
before
were
she
insanely drunk before we got here. You
I
just
see that.
leave us sober like this? That's unfair.
Well, yeah, but that's my kind
I'll
of.
stay longer.
Talking about the marathon
Don't
man
forget
and just
Tyler
like,
being
oh,
here.
boop, I'm out.
The marathon man
Cheers.
texted her and now she's got to go.
3 showers later, and I finally got off because
Or shit, even before you go, Elliot, too, like Sue, with the gaming industry as a video gamer, holy fuck, like the things I see now as a video gamer, like I can go back and quote like Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis and PlayStation, but fuck, the past 5 years, the things I've seen in video games that like I never thought in my lifetime I'd see, especially with the mocapping now and the things we can do in video games, and like looking forward, what's 10 years from now gonna fucking be like? Like, so it's like,
mind blowing.
because it's like, I still feel like storytelling, yes, to an extent, is limited by technology. Like most remakes, most reboots totally fucking suck. Very, very few ever be justified because sometimes certain storytellers are limited by their technology. That's why, like, James Cameron, why did Avatar 2 come out yet for? The shit he's doing for Avatar 2, there's a reason he waited 12 years to make Avatar 2. That's just,
I mean, between like story writing, like the animation aspect,
but
of
the
it,
visual
bringing
effects though, like he's creating new technology just to make Avatar 2. So it's like,
What about you, Elliot?
Well, for a series, I have to say it's an anime called S Cry Ed, which is pretty much people who develop an ability to summon something. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's about a nobody who gets a fist that can bust through anything.
Jeez.
It's ridiculous because some people can summon entire divine beings, but it fucks you up. Movie wise, I love Evil Dead. Bruce Campbell will always have a place in my feeble heart, but I gotta go with Rambo, First Blood, where he just wants to, have a meal in this nowhere town, and the sheriff and his asshole friends want to just torture him, and he just like, fucking enough is enough. Yeah, I could watch that movie. I've watched that movie dozens of times. I could watch it dozens more, and I'm just like, yeah, I fucking side with Rambo. He just wanted a meal and then head off on his way, but they're like, oh, because you're an army vet, we're gonna torture you? No. And how he just declares war on this whole town, yeah. I think that's my favorite show because fucking Sylvester Stallone actually broke ribs in one of the scenes when he jumped off the mountain to the trees. That was actually him screaming because he broke a rib or two. Like, that movie really just fucked with my head. Like, man, this dude went to war for our freedoms, and we're gonna treat him like a piece of shit, and this is what happens. That it fucked with me because I have 2 siblings who was actually in the military, and I'm like, man, is this how some people really see them, as a piece of shit who they don't want around? So I have a little bit of a bias to me, but that movie really just kind of made me think is I love this country. Don't get me wrong. I love this country. There are terrible times here, there, and everywhere. But I blame people more than I blame this country. This country stands for freedom and the pursuit of happiness. Though we may never find it, we have the opportunity to find happiness. But it's like this dude sacrificed everything for us, and they just treated him like a piece of shit. And he declared war on them. I don't know. It fucks with me. But like I said, I'm biased because one of my brothers was in the Coast Guard. One of my brothers was in the Army. If someone treated them like the way he was treated, fuck yeah. Fuck their whole town up. Fuck those people. But yet again, I'm going to say 100% I'm biased. Yeah. Because I've had family in the military, and that's bullshit. He just wanted a meal, and they treated him like he was the worst criminal ever to face their city. So yeah, Rambo First Blood is definitely my favorite movie. I've seen it hundreds of times. Second one is definitely Hannibal Silence of the Lambs, because Anthony Hopkins scares the fuck out of me in that movie. Yeah. Like, you want to talk to me like that, man? Fucking take my liver out of me while I'm still breathing, you seductive son of a bitch. But if Buffalo Bill starts singing to me while tucking his penis in, just kill me now. Goodbye, horses.
I heard about this news story. I'm not sure if you guys...
Or I could say it the way Chris heard it.
What?
It puts lotion on its skin.
That's would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me hard.
So, because it's 2020, did you guys hear about the the blood-sucking horseflies?
What the?
Say what now?
What the fuck is going on with this world? We got fucking great white sharks, and you're worried about blood-sucking flies? Let me tell you what. I've had some exes.
They're called mosquitoes.
No, these are blood-sucking horseflies.
I've had exes who suck more money out of my wallet than these flies will suck out of my veins, okay?
Poor goddamn Brits. So, Britain right now has been hit by a plague of blood-sucking horseflies that are thriving in the lockdown heat wave. The vicious bugs are targeting those taking advantage of the warm weather and lockdown easing as they invade parks and gardens. They show some of these fucking horsefly bites are disturbing this guy. I mean, it looks like a massive like bullet's like this big. It's on this guy's ankles and shit. Like, horsefly bites can be very painful and could require hospital treatment for more severe reactions. And with the rain and storms forecast, the plague could get worse as the insects thrive in hot and rainy weather. They are, of course, dark-colored, blood-drinking flies, which are around 1 centimeter to 2 centimeters in size. And it says, the British Pest Control Association has theorized the increase in people going outdoors after lockdown is allowing the bugs to find more blood to feast on. Horsefly bites can cause cellulitis, an infection of the skin that could require a course of antibiotics. Families have been warned to drain their back garden paddling pools as the pests are attracted to water. They are called horseflies because they literally are designed to eat a horse. Their bite is both impressive and painful. The horsefly is a sanguineous insect and therefore wants to bite you. They can persistently chase you at a flying speed of around 15 miles an hour, and they can bite through your clothes. So boy, Al.
Junior, stay inside after your nap.
Their mandibles, it has mandibles that can rip and tear your flesh apart. It says they're warning victims that the horsefly bites are very painful and can cause symptoms as wheezing, dizziness, and weakness.
So, Mark?
They urge you to dab the bite with antiseptic and cover the wound. They said bites can take a long time to heal and become infected. So if you have symptoms of infectedness such as pus or increasing pain, redness, and swelling, holy shit. Yep. So I'm looking at some of these pictures. Some of these bites from these horseflies, holy shit. Like, yeah, like I mean, I've been bit by horseflies and it hurts worse than a bee sting, but like these ones are also carrying disease too. So, and they will drink your blood. So, yeah. And they can fly 15 miles an hour.
15 miles an hour. Consider that. That means that there are no humans on the planet that can outrun this fucking thing. Like, shit.
Except for that bolt person.
He can't outrun that fucking thing. 15 miles an hour.
He might be used to outrunning them.
Fucking insane.
Hungry ass flies. So
You motherfuckers.
boy.
I don't know who you are. I will find you. I will burn you. And I have a Casio wristwatch and $2.
So
You may have one.
this is I gotta summarize it. It's a pretty long news story, but it's fucking hilarious. Anyway, so this is right from the New York Post, and I heard about this. So an Australian man with machete, he was acquitted in sex fantasy identity mix-up.
What the fuck?
So basically, an Australian man who was hired to carry out a stranger's home invasion sex fantasy, but who showed up machete and rope in hand at the wrong house, has been acquitted of all charges.
So,
Wait, what?
stop calling these people.
Wait, what happened? Say that again.
An Australian man, so I read an entire article. Okay, Terrence Leroy of Sydney, Australia was found not guilty of intimidation and weapons charges in what the judge noted was an unusual mistaken identity. Leroy and a second man had been hired on Facebook last year by a customer in the New South Wales region who wanted to be tied up while wearing only his skivvies and have a broom handle rubbed around his underwear.
What?
The customer had been willing to pay the equivalent of more than $3,000 if it was really good. So Leroy and his partner wound up arriving at the wrong house on the right street. The man who lived at the address was startled to see two intruders at his bedside holding machetes.
Could you imagine waking up in the middle of the night and it's some guy, there's a pair of guys in your room with machetes and a rope?
That is,
That
is the best shit I've heard in days.
They asked
As
him.
I reach under my pillow and pull my gun out and start to shoot everything that moves.
Hey, baby, you want it hard?
They asked the man to confirm his name. When they learned they were at the wrong house, one of the men apologized, saying, "Sorry, mate," and shaking the astounded man's hand before leaving and driving to the correct address.
Oh, God.
Once they were there, the roleplay was apparently less than really good. They had coffee, and the client made them bacon, eggs, and noodles before he fell asleep on the guy's couch.
That must have been really fucking good if she made food for them.
Well, it was a guy. Yeah, it was a guy, actually, so...
Okay, it must have been great for him
so,
if he made food for them and
course,
they slept on the couch.
So then the police arrived, who had been summoned by the incorrect customer. It says, his lawyer argued that this client, although armed with a machete, had entered the house for a non-criminal purpose. It was a commercial agreement to tie up and stroke a semi-naked man in his underpants with a broom.
My God. What kind of sick son of a bitch hired, though?
They carried the machetes either as a prop or something to use in that fantasy. The fantasy was unscripted, and there was discretion as to how it be carried out. So,
apparently,
boy,
a home invasion where they're rubbing themselves with fucking brooms, jerking a guy off. That's the fucking fantasy. Hey, baby, did you break in? Yeah. Are you rubbing yourself with a broom? Yeah. Are you stroking me? Yeah. Everything's fine.
The only victim here is that guy, that first guy that was that was the wrong guy. He's the only victim here. Everybody else,
you're right. Consenting adults.
Yeah, exactly. Are you ready to get
sorry, mate.
fucked?
Wrong house.
Are you ready to get fucked by some brooms?
Wait, what's your name? It's not Ron? Okay, bye.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
I got one more, which is, it's kind of funny, but also sad. But
that's
it's
fucking depressing.
Came from the New York Post, but like, hey, it's just like, if you, however you feel about the cops, whatever, but like, so Five Guys. So there's some Five Guys employees who refused to serve cops, and they've been fired. So, it says, an Alabama location after 3 police officers showed up and they were denied service. So it was Tuesday when 3 police officers entered the burger joint location and were informed that they were required to wear masks. Okay. The cops said that they went to retrieve their face coverings. When they returned, multiple employees turned their backs on them and refused to serve them. One of the employees was allegedly overheard saying, "I'm not serving them." The Five Guys issued a statement that all employees involved faced repercussions for the incident. Five Guys in the franchise want to thank the police department for their support, working together towards a resolution, and they're just saying that the company doesn't support that. So, I mean,
Did they fire those people?
They fired them, but like they just
good.
Then they all of them turned their backs to the cops and said, "We're not going to serve you guys."
But these are the people who'll be the first one to call the cops if they hear a window break in their house. So
I mean, it's just they're customers like anybody else. It's but it's denying them a burger and shit.
It's sad. They just want food, then to get back to their job. Just fucking feed them. You're not that great. Your life is not that great. If I turned my back on the cop, give me money. Go fuck yourself. Because if someone breaks into your house, you're going to be the first one on the phone calling the cops. I'm in fear for my life. Oh, someone's going to steal my poster of an anime girl. Please help her, not me. You fucking loser.
Chris, why is this bag of ice smarter than I am?
Uh-oh.
I can't get it open.
Turn lefty loosey, righty tighty.
There's two scissors behind you, but you have to get up.
My God.
Or I could just.
He got it.
He's struggling with a bag of ice. Shit is real.
This bag of ice is diabolically intelligent.
So
first world problems, people. First world problems. Opening a bag of ice.
So my last news story I think I could pull up is the whole because the endless fucking arguments between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. So
the more I hear about that, the more I want to shoot myself. I want to get a fucking lobotomy.
Well, so apparently what they did was, now that the trial's going on, they called up one of Johnny Depp's bodyguards. And, okay, initially Johnny Depp, that he lied about this because I guess he didn't want to get her in trouble. But, let's see. The bodyguard was questioned about an incident in 2015 when Depp and his then wife were in Australia for the filming of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Depp is accused Heard of cutting off his finger, the tip of his finger, when she threw a bottle of vodka at him, but wrote at the time that he caused injury himself. The bodyguard told on trial today that one of the first things Depp said to him as they stood outside a property before going to the hospital is, "She just cut my finger off." The bodyguard added that he had been the one who came up with the false story that Depp had damaged his finger in some doors, in bifold doors. Asked why, the former prison officer replied that this had been to protect the film production, but also because of the usual victim pattern he has seen in prison where victims seek to protect their abuser. The usual victim patterns protect the abuser for some reason, the psychological bullying, they fit the same criteria. He said that his past role as prison officer had equipped him to recognize when people were being bullied. So it says that, let's see. He denies ever hitting her. Connolly insisted that he had never seen Depp strike Heard. He said, "I would not tolerate any man striking a woman, no matter who she is, not even if he's my boss, not even if he's the Pope." So that, let's see. Sasha, somebody was representing the Sun, read out what she said was an extract from a diary kept by Heard during the 2015 honeymoon. With Depp, in which she wrote they had a terrible fight that resulted in her ending up with his shirt wrapped around her neck. Jesus.
How?
Okay.
That's kind of out there. If his shirt magically went from on his chest to around your neck, how the fuck could
we'll
that
keep hearing more about it, but like I said, this was his bodyguard. He said, "I never seen him lay a hand on her." It's like it's like, but at the time period he lied. He lied saying that covered it up and keep going, but
Sue would like his shirt wrapped around her neck so she can inhale Johnny Depp's scent.
So
exactly. I know Sue better than she knows herself.
No, you don't.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know you don't like mayo chup, so
That's true.
I'm ahead of Al, right?
Make the real shit.
Actually, before we leave, Chuck, I have some stuff to give you, Al. But yeah, that was fun.
You're done with the crunch and the
It's okay. It's like the mayo chup is just like that's the the top of the mountain, the king of the king. Like it's everything just like is a pale comparison to the greatness of mayo chup.
Which is why you don't start with mayo chup. You start with the other
I didn't
two,
know,
and then work your way down.
You end.
What I did the other day that impressed even me was I had ordered some wings from a pizza place, and the wings came with a cup of barbecue sauce, and a cup of blue cheese, and I was like, I'm gonna throw these together and see what I get. Listen, that shit was as good as, if not better than mayo chup.
What are you gonna call it?
Bar cheese or blue Q?
Blue Q. I like blue Q.
And when you put blue Q in your mouth, your brain will fucking explode.
Oh God. So yeah, I'm out of news stories for the time being. So if you guys got anything else you want to say, maybe we can wrap it up and kill 2.5 hours. So cool. That's fun. No, Elliot's pretty fucked up. I'm kind of like, nothing new's been happening. No rioting. Nothing new with COVID. It's just like
the only thing that's still happening are these protests.
Yeah, hasn't been, it seems like it's been the past week kind of like slow. Like no one's been shot or killed.
No, they've been protesting the whole time. It's just not on the news anymore.
People have been dying every day. The last one to die was like a 10-month-old baby that they're not talking about. A family was having a barbecue and boom, some asshole just showed up. Boom, this fucking kid is, I think it was either 10 or 20 months. I can't remember anymore because this shit is just so every day that my mind is like, do I feel bad or do I wonder what the fuck is going on with this world anymore?
Well, I definitely feel like overall as a species, who knows how much time has passed, but it's theoretical, in theory that like our species is at the pinnacle of overpopulation, and this is the most we've ever had on this planet, and it's becoming a big disconnect with people. Human life isn't valued what it used to be, but it's hard to value people the way it used to when there's like going on eight fucking billion of us.
You're right about that. I think.
Can I really say that I'm valuing these tater tots right now?
Oh, you value the fuck out of those tater tots.
Oh, well, I mean, and
that's for you, Junior. That's for you, Junior. You know what it's all about.
Well, this is something.
Sue, I want to feed you tater tots.
Sue, I want to serenade the shit out of you while you eat tater
even
tots.
From a company standpoint, it's like besides you, I talked to maybe like 2 or 3 employees, but like when I was at Goodwill with Susan, when you have in a company that has like 10 or 12 people, and I was lucky enough where all your coworkers are decent people. They could have been 10, 12 shitheads, but because they're decent people.
We had some shitheads.
Yeah, but overall though, the point is that there's more of a sense of family when you have 5 or 6 good coworkers. When you've got 1,600 coworkers, it's a lot harder to someone was fired, somebody quit, and you're like, but like when you got 12 coworkers, somebody quits, it affects you. Like I see Aldo's too, on a daily basis. Our job is a fucking revolving door.
Yeah,
it really is. It's like, and I don't feel as much the same way because there's too many fucking people there. If our company had 20 employees, I'd feel it. And that's almost like take our nation, our country, but then take other countries, then take globally. It's like every time you hear 1,000 people died, you're like 1,000. It sucks. I mean, because 1,000 people. If I knew 1,000 people, friends of mine, that would hurt a lot. But then you look at it from there's 8 billion of us. The fuck's 1,000? That's the scary part.
Unfortunately, that's become a reality.
Yeah.
Like, I keep hearing about how people keep... I'm never going to say my job completely, but I keep hearing how more and more people keep quitting. I'm like, okay, well, what can I do about it? Because my job is to this one location. It's like, well, it just sucks because people think they're going to get like $600 in unemployment for quitting their job, and that's not how it happens. Nope. If you quit your job, you get nothing. And I start laughing. Like, why are you laughing? People are suffering.
If you're like terminated or if you get fired,
and I live
something along those lines.
And I work in a private job section, so there's 2 ways you can literally lose your job. 1, you quit, which is the easiest. Yeah. 2, the person you work for, which is your technical boss, says, I don't want this dumbass working for me anymore because they're incompetent. It's one of those jobs that's so hard to lose it unless you're a complete fuck up. And people are quitting in droves because they want this $600 a week unemployment. And I'm laughing like that's not how unemployment works. And they try to get their job back and like, wait, you just quit a couple of weeks ago. You want your job back? You don't get your job back, and they're crying. And I'm like, yes, your suffering makes my day worth it. Suffering. I smell it, and I love it.
Yeah, besides, like, some actresses dying, and, like, some weird shit going on with Johnny Depp, but it's been funny news stories, like, we got freaking murder horse flies and shit now, and,
great white sharks.
Yeah, sharks and shit, and
Human-sized bats.
Yep.
Oh, I love them. Just one day, I hope I'm walking home, and one of them just... I can fly, wee, and I'm dead.
I'm still waiting for Man Bear Pig.
Man Cat Pig, you mean?
Man Bear Pig.
Man Bear Pig.
No, Man Cat Pig is more of a reality.
No, like we all know Mark exists. I'm talking about the actual Man Bear Pig.
Yeah, Man Cat Pig is Mark.
Well,
Yeah,
because
I know.
he naps like a cat.
I know.
Look,
Yeah.
going forward, it's going to be
No.
the next
Coming for you, Sue.
He
next-
can go fuck himself.
the
Oh
ne-
wait, he
the ne-
already does.
the next season.
Cat
The next
that
season of
ass.
South Park is going to be interesting. I'll tell you that much, because all shit going on right now. Like,
Oh boy.
How are the kids going to communicate when they have to stay home because of COVID? That's going to be... I think that's going to blow
I mean,
my
like
mind.
Kenny will be fine. He's always got his mouth
He's
covered.
fucking dead.
Unless he's like is Mysterio.
New episode is going to come on. He's just going to be dead from the beginning with a sign that
Yeah.
says "Gotten by COVID."
COVID.
Like, oh, shit,
Kenny will be the
killed
first
Kenny.
victim in South Park. of
COVID got me good. And it's not even spelled correctly.
Oh, you know what would be even worse though? What if everyone else on the show died of COVID, but Kenny was the last one alive?
I think my mind would explode.
That would be like the most.
Oh shit! They didn't kill Kenny.
Oh shit! Kenny's still alive.
You
Well, that's like the one
Question
freaking.
mark.
What was it? The Christmas episode where they introduced Mr. Hanky.
No, the fucking Cthulhu episode. I was in tears laughing because he's like, "Kill me, you stupid sons of bitches! I'm gonna come back anyways." And he comes back in a different dimension. I was in tears laughing.
No, in the one Christmas episode where they introduced Mr. Hanky, there were like 20 different times in which Kenny could have died. And by the end of the episode, everyone's like, it feels like something should have happened that didn't happen. And like, we just have to live with it. And Kenny's just sitting there, he's like, woohoo! Like, yeah, he survived an episode.
And dead. Yeah, I know what you mean now. Yeah, it was tormenting to not see Kenny die by the end of the episode.
yeah. All right, well, good. Say your goodbyes, and I need to eat something 'cause I'm fucking starving. So.
Molly, I don't know if you're real. I'm super drunk and my hairline's not receding. So what's going on? I hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
My name is Elliot.
If she
by the
exists.
way. Yeah, if you exist. They're telling me you're a unicorn or you look better than the fake ass picture she put out. I'll see you soon.
I heard you're a hologram.
Fucking hologram.
Like Al said, Sue, it's like, if next time you see him, you better, like, you open a notebook. You better be writing shit down in that fucking notebook right now, because...
Hate me. Your anger feeds me. Good.
I need to like mock Junior so bad.
On the off chance that Molly's listening, Molly, I think you're fucking great.
Ozzy.
Molly probably is listening, and she's probably like, "These fucking assholes don't even know me. Wait till I meet all of them."
I want to see Susan versus Junior in.
I'm just gonna say this, Molly. Al and Chris want your babies. I think you're still
no.
fictional. I think
Al
you're fictional
just wanted to
as
know if we
fuck.
had siblings.
Stop.
I'm
That's
just-
Junior's
I'm
property.
joking.
I just wanted to clone.
Wait,
It's
did
like
you just say property? That's racist.
I wouldn't care if the clone could be even incomplete. I don't care. Like, fuck it.
Waifu material right there.
My shout out also to Molly. Okay, Molly. Why Junior?
Jesus Christ.
If you really are as gorgeous as Al and Chris are saying, which
She fine.
I'm hoping they're correct. I still haven't met you.
We are.
When I meet you, I will determine that myself. You sounded cool on the podcast. Really
cool.
like to get to know you. But seriously, why Junior?
That ass makes me wanna ooh.
Shots fired.
Shot definitely fired.
Let's see. I can start getting the bunnies. Yeah, here we go. Ah, damn it. I will perfect this app.
Yeah, you should have perfected it before you busted it out.
Seriously, like,
been stumbling through it all night.
Oh, really?
I mean, he is getting better with it.
There's so many, that's why.
Oh my.
Especially the Dave Chappelle one.
That's a compliment from Sue.
Yeah.
Didn't think we'd ever hear one, but we did.
Wait, what was it?
I don't know. I'm so drunk I see 3 of everything, and Sue,
Al.
for you, that's disturbing.
Say your piece.
Yeah, we got to wrap this up. I got to go upstairs and put a baby in Sue.
No.
I'm gonna record that shit.
You know,
You
know
can't
the
go upstairs
spiel.
and put a baby in me. There's a 13-year-old up in my room.
I'll be quick.
13-year-olds can get kicked out.
Exactly.
I will tell him he has to stay.
We're adults here. He has to listen to us.
I'll put him outside the door and tuck him neatly into a blanket and lock the door.
This guilty.
No.
I'm never gonna dance again.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna record this shit too.
Get ready, Sue.
A baby has never been finer than in your attic.
See?
Mission failed.
I'll still touch myself.
Wait, hold on.
What did you say?
Yeah,
What?
okay. Yeah,
Epic fail.
there we go.
There we go.
All right, you know the spiel, people.
Oh, yeah.
Donate to the people that make your lives and your neighborhoods better. Protect your neighborhoods. Protect your neighbors. Help out your local community. Donate to police stations, fire departments, hospitals, libraries, schools, the places that you need in order for your community to function better.
Yeah.
Do what's best for you, your family, your friends, and your neighbors.
Yeah.
Dude, you're a dick. He's trying to be like serious.
I thought he was done. That's why. No, it's fucking. That's a standing ovation.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not funny. He's the only person I don't want to insult here.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Because Al is your hetero life mate.
Yeah, I'm always well fed.
He is the silent Bob to your J, or he is the J to your
Don't
silent
be hating.
Bob.
Don't be hating.
Unless it's
Oh, don't feel bad. My friend Lorraine's my hetero life
I
mate.
gotta find a clip from Scrubs with JD and Turk where it's like, that's guy love. I love that song.
I mean, you guys are hetero life mates. Elliot and Junior have a bromance. Like, it's all good.
All right, Sue, let's go. Let's go upstairs.
Better head of hair than him.
Okay.
Fuck off.
So that was a good 2.5 hours, guys. And when when Carlton comes down, it's gonna be really fun because like you said, Carlton's just
So
like,
do you recycle?
yeah.
I'm gonna feel like a
I,
parent, like if Carlton and Elliot are in the same room.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be calling like Elliot Carlton and Carlton Elliot
My
the
mom
entire
does
freaking
that,
time.
so
It's
don't
most
worry.
gonna be Elliot and Carlton taking turns.
You're
with
gonna feel like a parent 9 months from now when you're giving birth to my baby.
Don't worry, Sue. I have all them tattoos, and you remember I saw Breaking Benjamin in concert, so you'll remember me.
Hey, as always, people, like we always say, every single episode, Al says his speech. I say, hey guys, like we're doing this shit for free. We're having fun and some drinks, and nobody here wants your funds, nor do we need your funds. And help
But
people.
Elliot would like your funds.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Elliot's a fucking sellout. He admitted
I
to
want
it.
the
But
panties too, cause fuck, I'm lonely.
so I always said, hey, have fun with YouTube and Twitch on the side, but fuck these people that are making millions for sitting home all day, because we're 4 assholes down here in the basement. Sue's eating, of course, and we're not getting. We're all not getting paid for this shit. We're just doing this because it's fun and enjoyable.
Is that a bad thing?
Not at all.
With
Not at all.
that creamy ranch.
Something in your mouth.
Take care.
Never seen
And,
somebody make tater tots look so good.
okay.
What's that white stuff dripping on his soup?
And we're out for that.